All right, we're live, folks. Episode 63 of the Sick Ghouls. We have some guests tonight. We have the great Nat Murray and the very funny Will Craig.
Hey.
And we have, of course, Otis and me.
How are we, everyone? It's a great night. It's a great day. We're here. We're recording this. We're recording this the day of the No Kings protests. So I want to say on behalf of all Ghoul Nation, wish a happy birthday to President Trump. I just hope
No Kings protest. We have 4 kings in the house tonight, folks.
I hope he has a great day. I just want him to be all right.
Yeah, we came over to show him how Roth IRAs and stuff work. Podcast. So me and Will came to show out. Yeah.
I have $4 in my Roth IRA for 3 years, so I know.
I don't know what it is.
How you guys doing? How was the drive over? How you guys enjoying the great Norristown?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's an honor to be here on the Memorial Joe G. AIDS couch. I feel my immune system weakening already.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He slept on this couch a time or two.
Does he really?
Yeah,
Yeah. That and you get Joe G. AIDS and Holly Huff autism through that couch.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty prosperous
Yeah.
right there.
Real
And
concoction.
Yoder sat in the chair, so if you want to sniff that later.
The chair's broken after he sat in it. So.
If you want to smell a dad's ass, there's a dad
Seriously,
joke somewhere
Dad?
there.
It's some seriously dad ass in that chair.
Well, there's nothing more you can do, or so I've been told, with a dad than sit in his chair and like get him mad. You know what I mean? Isn't that a thing?
When you actually, yeah, I'll vouch for that one. When you have a dad with just a fat build, which I will have one day, when you sit in it, there's something where they're like, yeah, get out of my chair. I think they just like the dent that their ass has put in there. I think. I don't know.
I know a lot of comics who are like that, bumping people at mics. They just like the dent that their ass has put in the fucking.
Yeah, speaking of Jay Yoder.
Oh, I was talking about women. When I'm, I know a few women comics who look like Jay Oder, and I.
They're that beautiful, huh?
Oh, they're very brave.
Very brave. Very brave.
Strong. They're strong.
Strong.
Emotionally well adapted.
Well, you can blame Jay for the pandemic of teacher comics in the scene. That's all Jay. I blame that all on Jay.
Oh yeah.
He's their
All on
king.
Jay.
He's their king.
He's the king.
Yeah.
You get some good ones. You get big Matt Liam. I
Love Matt Liam.
He's a teacher.
He's a teacher?
He's a
I didn't know
teacher.
that.
Yeah.
What does he teach?
He told me, I think history.
Okay. He's
history.
He's a perfect history teacher.
He's a history head. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's
Well,
a good one.
you've got to question anybody's intentions if they're in education and in comedy. They must just love themselves.
You got to have something where, like, you can process kicking a kid in the face without having to kick a kid in the face.
Yeah.
Because if
Or
I'm
you could
around
do
a
it.
kid that I'm
I've
not
done.
related to long enough, it's like I got to walk away, or I might be a little mean,
Yeah.
and this kid's 7. So that's not
I
gonna
can
end
only
well.
be nice to kids if I'm getting paid for it.
Right.
I don't like kids at all. I don't like them. I'd never have one. I'd abort it. I'm just empowering women. I think it's good that women should be empowered. They should abort it.
No. Yeah.
You know,
it's their choice.
abort
very
your
progressive.
children. Abort your children. They don't want to be in this fucking world.
Hey, let them.
I can't get off on this tangent. Luke knows that we have to cut me going off ranting like this every episode.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mind kids until they turn like 4 or 5 years old. They start going
Then
to
they can
school.
start squealing about what you do to them.
Then, no, not that. That's not the reason I said that. Not at all. When they go from 6 until like 25, they're like, I'm like, I hate kids at that age.
Yeah.
They're the worst.
Yeah. You need to, as a boy, you need to, like, you get to the moment where if your dad wasn't too psycho, when you hit 25, you're like, all right, I could be that psycho too. My dad wasn't that bad of a guy. You know what I mean? You got to hit that point. Before that, you're just kind of like, oh, man, my dad was kind of like an ass. And then you turn 25 and you're like, he never punched anybody in public. I might do that. So, like, kudos to him. So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, that whole, I don't know, there's something about just being broken in your mid-20s where you're just like, okay, I get it a little bit now.
I think with school and stuff, I think what helped me a lot is like, I never had male teachers when all I had was female teachers. That's probably why I hate women so much.
Yeah.
Being scolded by them. From
I
like
mean, among
15
other
years.
reasons, they make it pretty easy.
Yeah, it's like it was brutal. And I went to Catholic school, so it was all like haggard old nun.
Oh, yeah.
cunts.
I did 3 years at a Catholic school. It was a lot of...
I went to Catholic school for a little while, and the nun I had was pretty good, actually, and the rest of them were just decrepit bitches.
They're mostly decrepit bitches. Some of them are okay, but most of them are decrepit.
Yeah, I was shocked that it was the nun who was decent. It was the women who had the audacity to show off their ears that felt like they had to be cunts.
Oh, the non-nuns at the Catholic school.
Oh, they should be. They're unfuckable, fuckless women.
Well, it's all nuns
Fuckless
and lesbians.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah.
At Catholic
Oh,
school.
what I'd give to
Yeah.
see two nuns licking each other's twats. That could be the next Jesus
That's
thing.
why you weren't allowed in the teachers' lounge. That's
Yeah, yeah.
I heard somewhere, surprised to no one, rugby is big in the nun community.
Yeah. They're doing Requiem for a Dream, the double-sided thing at the end. The nuns, they're doing it with a crucifix.
David's sitting there.
Yeah.
that's what they replace living stations with, is a live reaction of Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah.
No more living stations.
Imagine the Stations of the Cross, but they're all on heroin. Jesus is standing there. Hold on, I'll act it out.
All right. For the listeners. All right. He's fading. He's fading. Requiem for a Dream style. It's Jesus. He's fading. But he's there. He's there.
On the
in
third
spirit.
day, he bought a dime bag for $10.
He has returned.
I like how in that movie they threw the extra curveball of, his mom's a psycho who stares at the TV all day.
That was
Like,
the
Yeah.
most depressing part of the movie.
Does she even do heroin?
And the most
anymore?
related-
Basically.
She gets
Okay.
on
Pills.
the uppers, right? Because she's remember he goes, "Ma, you want uppers?"
Yeah.
She's on speed
Yeah.
from the pills, like prescribed, and then she's chattering her teeth and everything.
Yeah. And then it's fucking Johnny Carson in her house, and then
Yeah, and then there's that weird fucking. So Tay reminds me. We mentioned him already. Reminds me of the Wayans brothers so much. Like especially who is it? Marlon in that one. Is it Marlon? or Sh-
Yeah,
Marlon,
Marlon's in
Yeah.
Requiem, yeah.
he
That
reminds
was
me
big
of,
for him.
of Marlon immediately. Like that reminds me of Tay so
I
much.
see that.
Yeah, I can see
Not
that.
just because the guy's doing heroin. No, Tay has too much respect for himself to do heroin.
Dude.
Yeah, that's true. You can't do
Most people, I think, do.
Yeah.
That don't do that.
Not in comedy, brother. I'll tell you.
Yeah, most of them should be doing heroin.
Yeah.
That'd be a
Well,
huge
most of
step
them
up.
make me want to do heroin.
Some nights, man. Brownies. No.
I thought the exact same. Room.
No.
Yeah, you'll be sitting in there, man, and it's just like, yikes. It could be.
Well, they have in the bathroom. They have that one. I guess it's I told it before in the podcast. They have that one, like I guess it's a cigarette asher
Mm-hmm.
in the bathroom. I think somebody threw up in it,
Jeez.
and they did a really bad job of cleaning it. So there's just dried vomit when you go
Oh.
to piss, and it's like, this is brutal. Like, why would even the bathrooms are
Yeah.
Yeah.
are haggard in here.
I dumped in that bathroom too, and it was a sacrifice, but I had to do it. But every time I see the ashtray, I just can't help but feel like someone's tried to like piss in it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Like,
I mean, I would try and piss it.
I had a period the summer of 2018. I was known as the wet bandit among my friends because I would just record myself in bathrooms pissing. I would just spin around and I'd piss on the end of the toilet paper, like where
Oh,
it
not
hangs
the
off,
paper.
so that when you went to get toilet paper, you would touch piss.
Oh.
I would piss. If it was a single person bathroom, I'd piss on the faucet handles. I'd piss on the soap dispenser. I'd piss on the paper towels. I'd piss on the closet door, like for the storage stuff. I'd piss on everything. And there's a worse thing that I'm not going to say on the air. Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley, we're back.
Saquon
Uh,
Barkley.
I didn't know the K was going to be. I was going to go to that to do my first mic, but I just didn't feel like
Wasn't worth
going.
it. Wasn't worth it.
No,
Terrible.
I've heard great things about it.
It's packed.
Was it like college comedy though, where
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
uber progressive,
Yeah.
happy go lucky? Okay.
There would be, I mean, in a room a little bigger than this, like in this chunk of room, imagine 40 people.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck
it would
that.
just be
Fuck
uncomfortable.
that.
Then
Yeah.
you know, I
Fuck
see what you're
that.
saying. Yeah.
I did it. There was a college show. I think it was one of the Drexel kids had a show, and they put Mark on it. Mark Wahlborn, Austin comic, big league. I'm networking.
That's so close to Wahlberg.
It
I mean,
is,
that really
yes.
is.
He's,
Anyway.
well, Mark.
My
Wahlborn's
name's Mark Wellborn.
He would have stopped 9/11 too.
He's my Lemaire Lee. He was doing a college show, and it was like they were just giving out free beers to everybody. Like it was free beers. It was a good show. Mark had a great set, but just like no one was like everybody was fucking sweating their asses off.
Mm.
Like it was like so hot in there. Everyone was sweating, except he was there.
Big dog.
He wasn't sweating at all, and I was bewildered by that.
That
I
doesn't
was
make any sense.
I couldn't.
Okay.
That's an anomaly. I don't know why he wasn't sweating. He just was not sweating. I couldn't believe it.
I don't.
That's because-
Sometimes are protected by nature.
I'd say maybe none of it comes out. None of it comes out. No.
The guy retains water. That's why he looks like that.
He's a sponge, the human sponge.
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't think of a guy with worse. Well, just blur the name. We could talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, who are you going to think we're talking about when you say
She's a much exposing herself to poor Marcos, who's queer. Do you guys know about that?
No.
She came up at High Note once to all of us, and she was like, "You buy a shot, we're putting your name in a raffle to see my tits." Do you remember
Right.
she said that to Luke and I?
Well, I'm sober now.
Yeah. She said, and then
Now if it was, I'd buy
Oh.
17 shots.
yeah. But you remember at the wet mic when I was making fun of Christian and I was saying like, Christian, what are you? You
Taking notes to cut it out.
That's all I do. That's my job.
I'd say, Christian, aren't you Ukrainian? Because I always get on like Shano that he should get on the Naked Show, and I'll say to Christian, you should be on the Naked Show. You're bald. You're just this there. You're the second Ukrainian I want to see on the Naked Show.
I like the Slav comics. Christian look like an evolution to nuclear poisoning. Like shit out. Looks like a ghoul. I love him. Very funny guy.
Only
what's
32
wrong with
years old,
ghouls?
too.
There's nothing wrong with him. I'm just saying it's the Slavic
not
way.
30.
He looks like
They
one
have
of the
that.
elves on
3 years
Family
old.
Guy when they go and do you ever see like this 2017 era Family Guy where they go to the North Pole and all the elves are inbred and they have the noses that are falling off?
Oh,
That's where
yeah.
Stewie and Peter or Stewie and Brian end up killing the guy in the house. You know the one?
No.
Oh, it's a good episode. It's one of my favorites. They go to the North Pole. It's like an hour-long one.
Mhm.
How's involved?
He looked. There are these
I was about to
elves.
say,
so
we
the
gotta
elves.
land this plane.
The whole thing is that it's like the elves had to inbreed to keep up with the toy demand. So now they just walk around with one eye here and the nose hanging off, and their limbs just fall off.
Like,
yeah.
and it when President being an elf, is it going? Ha 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 ha.
Would be the most normal-looking elf.
Dude, I was around one of the circles of comedy of people, and one of them was like, "Oh, I can't wait to get one bar."
You brought up the Naked Show. Have you noticed that the comics who will yell at other comics for wearing shorts or a hat on stage are the same ones that'll do the Naked Show?
Yeah.
You cannot. I have a friend. We love Jad. Jad also did a Naked Show. He's the exception to this rule.
Is he the New York Bushwick?
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a good guy.
Our friend Jad. He's the only exception. I cannot trust anyone that does the Naked Show.
No.
I can't trust them at all because if
No,
you're going to
me
get
neither.
naked on stage, like you will do anything for any type of success. That's insane.
That being said,
Yeah.
our next guest was on the Naked Show 2 weeks ago.
My thing too is like,
I don't care. It's all right.
well, my thing too is like the marketing that is interesting. It clearly works, but it's like, obviously people go, but like, who goes to that? Like, how do you like? It has to be
Perverts,
Yeah,
absolutely perverts.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's pervs, but it would like on paper, what would it be like?
It's all
girls
dudes.
and
It's all dudes.
gays.
It's all
and-
pervs.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
gross.
Like,
But you just get like the guy had to just get like one semi-hot chick to agree to it, and then like the first time he did it, probably some chick we
Oh,
don't know.
yeah.
So and then if you get one chick to do it, another chick
You
will do
lure
it,
in
and
the
then you're
date rapist
legitimized.
comics,
Yep.
which is a big market.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
yeah.
Dear
That
God.
name shocked me. I have a joke.
Yeah, I'm excited to see who's on the next one.
Oh, I'm a joke. Oh, Michael Beavers is on another one in fucking New
He's
York.
on them every night.
He's addicted to Naked Show.
He does naked shows to no audience. He does it to the ants in his bathroom.
Yeah.
He'll do it. Not saying he's not
I
clean.
don't
I'm
want
sure
these
he's
chicken
clean.
wigs, man. I don't want these chicken wigs.
Can you imagine he gets a little do-rag for his cock?
Do you think when you do it, do you think when Michael Beavers is on a Naked Show and he starts killing, he starts getting hard, and they do the joke and it bombs, and he goes,
Oh my God! If they don't have a slide
Well,
whistle on
they'd
there
ask,
for that to
they'd
happen?
ask if they could find his dick under that.
under the layers of fat and bad
Let's
jokes.
predict the next lineup. You guys don't have to say anybody if you don't want, but let's predict the next Naked Show lineup. Who do we
Jay
think?
Yoder.
Yoder will do. I don't think he'll do it
He
because
wouldn't.
the
Nah.
schools wouldn't put up with that.
What are the odds? Are usually
As long
like
as he's
1 to
employed by
2
a school.
girls and then like 4 or 5 guys, right? So
Yeah.
it's- All right. So we get the girls out of the way. I'm gonna. Her name's been brought up. We'll go.
Sure.
Peters will probably do it.
So,
again.
guys,
Yeah, she's on all
we
of
just booked a Naked Show. We're going to give people $100 for tickets on the show.
Those are my 2 ladies.
Who, Rachel?
Yeah,
Rachel who?
Peters.
Oh.
She's been on the last
She's already
few.
on.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. Beavers is doing it again.
Yeah, I guess there's a couple hometown heroes, a couple favorites.
Yeah.
Oh man, I could see. I joke with Shauna. Shauna would never do it. I at least I hope not. I could see. God, all the guys are bashful.
I would hope so.
Yeah, that's
I would
true.
hope so.
I don't know. You would think I would think some of the people that have been on would be more bashful, but
Yeah.
they have not.
I can
been.
see Bradford Davis doing a naked
They would
show.
think-
Oh my
Yeah,
God!
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think there's either a polar opposite here where I would either love it and embrace it.
He's
or
been on it.
wouldn't- Then that would be one that's going to be on
He
it
would
again.
do a
I
set
didn't know he was
inside
on it.
like somebody's coffin at a funeral if he could, and not just because he'd be blowing the corpse.
Well, he'd DM him first.
Hey, let me do a guest spot in purgatory. Yeah.
Well, when he's doing a set, I feel like I'm in purgatory.
I feel like big dudes would be more inclined to do it.
No, we're not.
I mean, just not big dude. I'm just talking like fat, like just like where your
Oh.
fat kind of covers it up a little bit. Or you got big hogs. I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
where
I don't have a
confidence
big
come
hog.
from.
My fat covers it up, so I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it based on principle, but it's also I look horrible naked.
I could see
Same.
Miziano doing it.
Sure.
Is the honor? Oh, definitely.
Sure, he's Italian.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, you on the fucking naked show? You fucking disgusting.
Sebastian on the Naked Show.
So I'm out here doing a set with my cock out.
You mean to tell me my penis is gonna be out?
I'd like to see our girl Susie.
Bill Burr naked show. Yeah, you know I'm naked on stage. Who cares? What's the matter? I love my wife. She's black. It's awesome.
What do you want? I got red hair. I got a little pecker. I'm from Boston. Come on. This needs to be an AI, just like a series.
Shane Gillis is on the naked show, and we just sold 10,000 tickets. It's all Philly comics going to support Shane.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, so my fucking cock's out, dude. You fucking.
Yo, dude, I swear it's just fucking cold in here, dude. I said, dude. Dude, as a white guy, I've gotten hit with it twice where I don't think my mannerisms are that much like Shane, but I have to think that they are. And some other comics like, yeah, good job doing
That was a good
Shane
impression.
stand up there.
I thought it was a really good impression.
I've never
yeah,
once
but-
thought you were Shane.
Well, that's the thing is like I also feel like I can't like where I'm just like I guess I did like I don't record my sets all the time, so I don't watch it. But like I don't feel like I'm doing like the 2 mic grab all the time or like the dude or like
I've seen the two
But-
mic grab, and I've seen the hand behind the back a lot. Oh,
Yeah.
not from you, but from other people.
there's like 7 comics who are just like yeah, dude, is their fill word. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they'll be and then like yeah, dude, like and then
You don't
and I'm
stay.
like you say it. I'll do that.
No, not you, not you. I'm
Oh.
saying like that's all there is in this scene. People
Yeah.
that like, you just go there and all constant. I can name some. Can I name some names? Can we? We could blur this
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
for sure. Oh my! And I like him. He's a future guy.
Yeah.
Luke and I have a thing where these people who will ask me to be on, and usually we don't want to have the people who are like asking. You know what I mean? That's kind of that defeats it.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
get the people that
I didn't tell him he could come on.
Tall, he's got a Patrick
You
Mahomes.
know,
We were talking about David because so many hipster people that you run into. I went to a graduation recently for a friend's sister in town, and there were a lot of art school grads there, which are like lesbians and stuff.
I'm sorry, my cereal went off.
I triggered it, and they're great, but they're all like David Lynch tryhards. And I like David Lynch, I do, but at a certain point, he's not making sense, and he's doing it to fuck with us. And I was talking to Susan, and Susan was like, honestly, I think people like the theory of David Lynch more than the actual use of David Lynch. And I was like, Susan, that was kind of genius. Actually, that was a pretty fucking genius line. Anyway, so yeah, I used that when I was at my friend's sister's graduation. I
What
was
did,
just
he,
like,
what did he? I know he made Twin Peaks, right?
so Twin Peaks was Twin Peaks.
Mulholland Drive is probably his biggest movie.
Mulholland Drive is probably his biggest, most easily understood, I think.
Yeah,
I
and
never
then
watched it.
Eraserhead too.
I watched
Yeah,
Eraserhead. I
yeah.
thought that was retarded. Honestly.
Kane loves him.
I couldn't-
That's
yeah.
Kane loves all that art house
Yeah.
shit. I
Yeah.
can't get into it.
I told Steve, I said, I thought I watched Eraserhead. I thought I was really stupid. He was watch it again. I'm like, no, if I didn't thought it was dumb, I'm gonna watch it again. The hell?
The whole thing's a metaphor for him having a kid. David Lynch. That's why he made the movie.
Well, he must
Like,
be a great father.
so yeah, that's all. The whole thing is just like this is my anxiety of having a child. And I mean, again, art house films. If that's your thing, then cool. But
Well, if you're a
like,
millionaire, I wouldn't have any anxiety about having a child.
yeah,
what the fuck?
yeah, he was rolling in it.
I know. What the fuck? He
Uh,
made his kid like a screaming chicken the entire. That's fucking
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah.
What a piece of. He must have had sex with a Puerto Rican, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, Puerto Ricans.
I'm
they just came
very,
from New York.
I'm very anti like art house film stuff.
No
I'm-
Puerto Rican queens. The parade.
I didn't. Like, I watched I heard Memento's a great movie. I watched it. I was like, this is kind of like
Yeah.
What's that? Christopher
Hey,
Dolan?
I could get
No,
down with
No, I
Memento.
know Christopher
Yeah.
Dolan.
Christopher Dolan. Phenomenal.
The
No.
The
Dark
movie makes no
Knight.
sense.
That-
Phenomenal.
That Chris Dolan directing your special, The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, the funny thing with Chris Dolan,
Do you know him? That comics.
I've met him
Dolan's great.
Well, I've seen him once or twice. Seems like a nice guy.
Oh,
Everyone
you
brings
love
up
him.
Has good
he's
things to say.
an old Irish guy.
and he'll be
and,
friends with anybody if they're funny. He doesn't. He
Yes.
really doesn't give a shit.
Yes, but we were Philly Comedy Network. They had I think Derek Lee, the Black Magician comic. He's producing like a Black Mother's Day show with a bunch of R&B and soul people and some comics. And Chris Dolan sent that, and he said, "My mother passed in the '90s. I'm going to bring me and her urn to the show." And imagine Chris at some like '80s black festival with his mother's urn. It's like really funny.
That's a great image.
The comic lineup for that show was so funny.
Pound cake, the D.
they were reading it like it was a monster truck rally.
Black comedian names are the greatest, and my favorite is Earthquake because ever
Earthquake.
since Cat Williams came out, he was just firing shots. My favorite is in the middle of it. He just goes, "An earthquake can't read." That's it. Like, had nothing coming his way, and was just like,
Earthquake.
Gotta come out and be like, "Yes, I can read."
I love some of the fake names in the scene, like Blackie White Man.
Oh yeah, I did, yeah.
Mike Mack. It was on that Chester show, and you saw the guy who was running it was named Blackie White Man, and Mac was on the streets of Chester yelling because the guy showed up late, if you can believe this. And Mac was there yelling. He goes, "Hey, Blackie, Black!" yelling across the street. And then another good one, Dick Dickerson.
Yeah, it was good.
I'm pulling up some of these lineups. I'm gonna go
There
on
was an
like
old flyer about 3 years ago we were talking about, and there was one. It was I'll never forget it. The woman's name was the Throat Goat, but it
Nancy
was
Reagan.
D-A D-A Throat THROA with 2 T's,
Facts,
and then
sport.
Goat with 2 T's.
awful.
Did you need extra T's with the name like the Throat Goat? That was great. I was
Yeah.
on a show one time. The guy was like, his fingers were just all fucked up. I guess like his fingers were like they weren't all crooked, and his name was Ew Crazy Fingers. It's like
With a Z.
with a Z.
Yes.
FINGAZ.
Holy
I
shit.
think multiple Z's.
I already.
Ew was the first.
Yeah.
Ew, crazy.
This comic's gross, and his fingers are
That's
crazy.
pretty genius.
I already got mine figured
That's
out.
pretty
I'm just
great.
gonna be a Hamburger Jones ripoff, and I'm gonna be Nat. He don't play Murray. And every like third or fourth joke, I'm gonna be like, "I ain't playing." I'm gonna yell at the crowd. We'll do good.
I went on Dick Dickerson's page and I found the lineup of his most recent show. That's
Is he
on
a
here.
black comic, Dick Dickerson?
Yeah, he looks like Danny Hicks.
Okay.
And the lineup, all right, the first guy, so Dick Dickerson, a guy named Kenny Williams, all right, D.R. Church, Kenny Wu,
That one got me.
headliner T. Macaroni.
I got that through Kenny Williams, and they're like a punter on a football team. Like, we got one.
Key and Peele sketch.
Here's another
Yeah,
one.
Yeah.
Dick Dickerson, DJ Socks.
Yeah. There's usually at least one DJ and one uncle.
And then the last, Boney the Cockaroo.
Imagine Trump. We have a great lineup, folks.
He would be the best host.
We have the great Boney the Cockaroo, folks. We love Boney.
Kenneth Williams really like this.
Especially.
I never believed in reparations until I saw Boney the Cockaroo. They might have let him in the house. I could see him being in the living room. I could.
You guys know Tiny's fucking hilarious. Tiny's really funny. She's a comic and
Oh yeah, I know Tiny. Yeah.
She's hilarious.
Yeah.
But every time she goes on stage, she goes, "Hey guys, I'm comedian Tiny." It's like, we know you're on stage.
Comedian.
You think it's
put
a
it
black
together.
accountant? I think goes, "Yo, what's up? I'm Jerome, the accountant." Like, yeah, we can tell you're doing numbers.
We had a guy back home who's a funny guy. I never really got to know him that well, but he always cracked me up. He would have a sign everywhere, and it had his @ on it, but it would also have random shit that he would write on it. And his @ name was @SauceGotJokes. and he would always put it on the stage when he did. So he'd go to an open mic, and it would just be this piece of plate. And be
That's
like,
up there with one of
boom.
the blackest things I ever.
Well, we saw
Yeah.
Radio They Don't Play Me Though does that. That's another black comic named Radio They Don't Play Me Though. And-
That's a good one.
no, that's really you've seen him at 13. He walks around with that light up sign that's like a lottery sign or something with his at going by on
Oh,
it.
really?
that's awesome.
I don't remember.
And a
that.
backpack, yeah. Radio They Don't Play Me Though.
There
That's
was a comic. I forget his. I think I forget his name. He's from Baltimore. I did a Don't Tell show with him, and
We got a don't tell guy.
he goes. Everybody do me a favor. He's closing. He goes, do me a favor. Everybody pull your phones out. What's he doing? I'm doing a bit. What the hell is it? Pulling his phone out. What kind of bit is this? He goes, and open your Instagram. And I go, he's not. This nigga ain't gonna do what I think he's gonna do. And he goes, put in my @ and follow me on Instagram. It's like, what the fuck? That's the blackest thing ever.
He stole that from Big Rick Pecork.
Rick.
I've ever seen.
Big Rick.
I love Big Rick, by the way.
Big Rick, sweet guy.
That's dark.
Great guy. We
Yeah.
love him.
Oh
Great
yeah,
guy.
favorite.
Big Rick.
And yeah, I mean that seriously, he can draw that mural of Drew Montana on the wall out that he put outside Iliad. It's
Very
like wow,
impressive.
my
Very
God.
impressive.
He's
You know,
multi-talented.
it's like Washington crossing the Delaware. You know, here he is.
You think Washington ever asked for any guest spots on shows
Yeah.
back in the day?
I know that's the thing. I'm the least networky
That's how he
guy.
got on Rushmore.
Shagoon DM'd him back in the 1700s. Can I please get a spot on the Mount Rushmore, please?
I am
hilarious.
a hot and Indian.
Yeah, that's it. I remember that was why I said this. I said this on stage, and I'm like the other week. I said, "Could you imagine going up and saying I'm hot and funny and but being neither? Like that's insane."
I've seen that a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been doing comedy in Philadelphia in the
Yeah.
summers for a while.
Dude, my favorite is when you get that one crowd that isn't up for it. Like, everyone bombs. But you get the one crowd that's just like a lot of comics and they're not on board for it. And that person just snaps and they're like, well, you guys fucking suck anyway. And then we're all like, no, that's a good one. No, I'm not. Did that at the 700.
Mm.
And it was 3.5 straight minutes of all right, you guys could like laugh at a joke or
She
something.
she
you know?
crashes out all the time.
Yeah, she scares me.
She got that. I think.
Their talent, I can tell.
Exactly.
Oh, they were banging. That's
Well, I think so.
That's bad,
I mean, the
but,
optics
yeah.
are that they were, but
yeah,
I don't know
I would
them
guess.
at all.
I don't know. I don't really care.
They were
wish cancer upon a disabled person at Soul Joel's this one time.
oh shit.
Funniest
maybe
thing-
he's not so bad.
one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Actually.
He was what?
He was not doing well, which is a fucking open mic. Who gives a fuck, right? But yeah, he wasn't taking it well, and
As opposed to his regular standard of crushing.
of course, yeah. That's why it was such a shock to his system, and
Maybe he'll find some good bits in the storage units.
Boom! American Pickers.
Roasted.
I love Renz. He's fun.
but yeah, no, and somebody like this couple like started talking to each other, and he was like, like, why are you talking during my set? And then
How dare you?
and she's like, oh, I have a disability. I was just, my friend has a disability. I was just checking on him. And he's like, well, I hope you get fucking cancer and die.
And he went, Dear Diary. You ever see these are writing their diary?
It was a very rough transition into the next.
Yeah, that's just the best part. Trying to transition afterwards.
One of the funniest things he said in front of me was he was talking about, you ever see his bit about doing the OnlyFans for the old woman?
I think so.
Like
yeah.
they all outsource that. So if it's a popular woman, you're talking to a guy who's writing this for her. But they pay money, I guess, because you get a lot. So he would write the things back to the responses.
So okay,
As
I see what you're
her.
saying. So he would write the only.
So he would say, like he was saying, so yeah, me up there, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, nice cock, big boy. I'm like, oh my god,
God, he's a great person to see in a dark alley.
Yeah. Oh,
he's
yeah.
depraved.
Yeah.
Nice cock, big boy.
Nice cock. Fat dude. I can't throw too many stones. I had a meltdown at Milk Boy
Love it.
because what is his name? Politically incorrect Pete.
Oh fuck.
So
Fuck him.
So-
He's a piece of shit.
we were
He's a piece of
don't
shit.
cut this one. So we were.
No, I'm not. He blocked me and Otis on Instagram. I don't know if he blocked. Is he still blocked by him?
Oh, I blocked him.
He's a chode.
He
whatever.
blocked me for I don't even know what I did to him. He's a cunt.
So we were there, and there are these three. So the way Milk Boy is like if you're facing the stage, the bar's to the right, and there's stairs to the left near the stage. And
Are you going there tomorrow? By the way, I'll go there tomorrow.
yeah, I'll go there tomorrow. Omri, I'm good buddies with Omri. So
Love
I
Omri.
gotta
Love
go.
Omri,
I
great
gotta-
guy.
Sometimes I'm busy Sunday, but the wife's out of town, so I'm gonna go.
Nice.
So I was a milk boy, and the whole night there were like 4 guys close to the stage at the bar who were from Florida, and they were like kind of blue collar dudes. And I'm from South Carolina, and I know how to work with that. I know how to play with white trash.
Oh yeah.
That's my part of the world.
Yeah.
Okay, I can play with Southern white trash. I know how to poke at them. And so they were just drinking and being part of the crowd. And then Pete goes and sits like behind them at a table, and he's like leaning over and like engaging with them throughout the night and hyping them up, which is already fucking up all the people on stage. And they're like 3 feet away from the stage, so every word that any of them are saying you can hear perfectly. And so by the time I go up, all but one of the Florida dudes leave and one's still there. And he's talking to Pete, like standing up talking to Pete now. And Pete's having like full volume conversation, like during my set. And this guy is too. And I'm kind of already irritated. And then they stop because the guy from Florida gets a FaceTime call and goes and sits at the bar closest to me and is just like, yeah, man. Yeah, I know this about that. And at that point, I'm like, the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, what are you doing with the... And then at that point, I just kind of start free. And I'm like, but you fucking Florida trash. You come up here and act like Florida trash, and you do all your shit. And I did feel pretty good about it. At one point, he goes, well, are you from Florida? I'm from Texas. I'm like, great. You murder retarded people and feel good about it. That's not any better, all right? But no, it was like a minute of just like going in on this dude. And it ended up being fine. But in hindsight, I should have just been like, Pete, shut the fuck up. Like, stop having full-length, loud conversations with people right in front of the stage, trying to get them hype up.
With the guy like that, you've got to just no sell him. That's what you know what I mean? It's similar to like
he's a fucking weird guy.
Yeah, like
Oh yeah.
where when he engages with you, you've just got to no sell it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have a policy where we don't that name doesn't get mentioned.
I
on
get
there.
it.
Yeah.
I think that's a good policy.
had a fun moment recently that we would have to cut. We've already cut it.
No, tell it.
He said,
I'm
so
gonna
the
look
reason
right
it
here.
sticks in my head. So he had another so you guys, he said the N-word at 2 Street months ago. It initiated a fight between Danny and another comic who's black, who I don't remember. And then
Danny
left. Yeah, long hair Danny.
Hicks.
Yeah, that's his last name.
So he said it, and it started a fight between 2 random black guys.
So what happened was, actually, that is
What
exactly
happened was
So he was on stage and he said the N-word like 2 or 3 times. He goes out, and this comic who I can't remember, he looked like what is his name? Savion. Savion. That's
Savion
who
Jew.
looks coolest. Savion, the coolest black guy.
Savion Jewett runs the media. Did you know that?
Yeah. Well, we've got to save Jews. It's like Savion Jewett is a psyop by the government. They want to project saving Jews, so they put him out there.
They sneak him in. They get him in.
Danny Hicks is a pick for me for the next Naked Show too. I'll give my final picks at the end of the
I'll
show.
throw that one up there. So anyway, it wasn't Savion, but this kid kind of looked like he had a similar build, glasses and short hair. He then starts berating Akash outside about saying it, and Akash is just kind of like trying to ignore it and zone out, which he deserved to get yelled at. Danny is recording the whole thing. That pisses off the guy yelling at Akash, who then starts yelling at Danny to delete it, and Danny not only won't not delete it, it's not stopping recording it.
That's
So
awesome.
now they're screaming at each other as Danny's recording it, and I watch just like a robot stand up and just walk off into the night, and he's gone. So he disappeared, and they don't get the fist or anything. Danny eventually stops. So anyway, he goes up at Pistolas, and he starts referencing how that event happened, and then he goes on and says, "It's not like I said." I'll say it in 2 different sentences. In one sentence, would you say the word moon? And then in the next sentence, I'm going to say the word cricket. And so he says it like 3 times on stage, and I'm just like that's a colonial level racist term.
Yes.
Moon
That's
cricket.
an old one.
That's up there with Bootlip.
Oh, that's all. You can't laugh at that. But so I go up to Omri and Blaha, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ! And of course, I pick the Puerto Rican guy and the guy from Israel, and they're like, what? And I'm like, he just said moon C word, and then Blaha goes, Blaha goes, we're saying C word now, and I'm like, I'm not gonna say the whole fucking thing, and Blaha says it like 5 times out loud.
Moon
Just like,
cricket. Yeah.
They call him a moon cricket.
yeah.
They said, dude. Called him a moon cricket.
yeah.
One day we got to do the show as Blaha and Foster. Let my daughter, she a fucking cricket, dude. What's making that fucking noise out there? It's like, you better not be letting crickets in your bed when you're 16,
Can I get a
dude.
guest spot, dude? Dude, that's crazy.
So anyway, strikes again.
I don't think moon cricket's that offensive.
No.
No,
I
wouldn't find everybody. I wouldn't find anybody for saying the N word. Honestly, it happened at 13 last week.
What?
Will Bowker got on stage and said the N word like 3 times. Soft
Hard
day.
R. Oh.
Soft day. But like nobody cared because like, what the fuck? Who cares? Like I don't like. It was like it's fun. He bought Dylan Tucker beers afterwards. You're all right, man. You're good.
You all right?
Yeah.
Yo, that white boy. I turn it off. Yo, that white boy gonna keep saying it. They keep bringing me beer.
Yeah. It's like
That's
he came up and goes, dude, it's like,
Me and
he
Will are
came up to me. He's like, dude, I'm so sorry for saying. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I
Yeah.
say it all the time on stage because I'm racist. So
Yeah, I say it all the time here. I strut around saying it all day.
I don't think you ever said it. You ever said the N word on stage? Will, Craig, have you ever said it?
Yeah, I've said. You remember the time outside
in
at
the early days. I was trying to.
in a nuanced manner.
That's why.
I don't think you ever said it on stage.
Oh, I have.
Really?
Not on purpose.
Oh. What happened?
You were there. I said it a couple times, but I said it once at 13. I said it at the Triggered shows in 2020 outside. I said it.
Those, you can get away with murder at those shows.
Yeah, I said, "Who is this?" And they were like, and the guy in the audience was like, "Oh, I've said it on this show many times."
I know.
Yeah, I know. You always tell me you're gonna. I listened to a couple of them back because that's how bored I was the other day. I listened to Sick Ghouls, and I heard me just drop an R, and I thought, and I said, "We're cutting that, right?" And he said, "Yeah, we'll cut it."
That was my favorite thing in middle school was we went. So I grew up in a honky elementary school and then went to a pretty ghetto middle school because the zoning was interesting. And you'd always catch some kid in the 6th grade that some black kid would be like, "Yeah, go ahead and say it. You can say it." And then the kid would just be like, and they'd be like, "He did it. It was him. It was this white." And then all these other like, "What the fuck, man?" Yeah.
That they want to do that in the same way that the.
So me and my buddy Kevin were outside a homeroom. We were both in the same class, and we got these famous black people to do a paper on. And I was like, he was like, "Who'd you get, Luke?" I go, I got Rosa Parks. I go, "Who'd you get, Kevin?" He goes, "Oh, I got fucking W.E.B. Du Bois." And I was like, he goes, "He's something like
Head of the
I was like,
NAACP.
I wanted to call him something else. I was like, "What do you want to call him?" He goes, "I can't say." And I was like, "What do you want to call him? Like, what are you talking about? You can't say." He goes, "Fucking nigger." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't say that. Jesus Christ! All right."
Well, Luke, you know what
Not even clever.
NAACP stands for.
What's it stand for?
You know. From Burning, from Mississippi, from our favorite movie, Mississippi Burning. There's a
R.I.P.
line.
Gene Hackman.
Yeah, where Sheriff Stuckey,
Good actor,
the guy who gets acquitted, he says it stands. He goes,
Negroes, alligators, apes, coons, and possums.
Negroes, alligators, apes, coons, and possums.
Yes.
That's the
That's
NAACP.
a combo, dude.
Yeah.
That's a woo. Yeah.
Sheriff Stuckey, they had him in like a size medium button-up shirt.
Yeah.
To
He
make
looks
him-
like Fenris.
Oh.
The actual race
yeah.
Stuckey looks like Fenris. He's not that racist, but he does look like Fenris.
He's not that racist.
Ray Stuckey, acquitted.
The first time I found out the N-word was a bad word because I went to a predominantly black school when I was a kid, and like I remember all my friends started saying it, just to each other, and I had a sense that that this wasn't something that I was supposed to say, but there was no internet back then, like you couldn't Google,
Yeah.
like, so I was like, I'll try it out on my parents and see what their reaction is. I remember I used it in the context that my friends were using it. So it was like the Ninja Turtles were on.
Yo, she fucking another nigga, bro.
Michelangelo was doing something funny. I was like, oh, that's a funny. And then my parents had a debate whether I said the N-word or ninja, like in front of me.
That's one funny ass ninja right there, man. Eating that pizza and shit.
Yeah. Yo, I never fuck with Donatello though. He ain't my type of ninja.
Well, actually, I had the opposite thing because I was in a predominantly white school. Sorry, all white school, I should say. And I was people would call me the N-word, hard R, and I thought that was just like something you call somebody who's like a gay or something like that. So I remember I was hanging out with my friends at the pool, and we were at like the some like water ball thing, and I was throwing these like, "You fucking niggers," and throwing it at the white kids, and lifeguard's like, "Hey, don't say that. Okay, let's not say that, Luke." It's like.
I don't know why.
Oh, Luke, you should do that on stage.
I know I need to eventually.
I misheard you. Maybe I heard you right, but I'm just picturing like childlike Luke and then like 9 white kids. I think it's just fine to say the N word. They're just like,
Yeah, that's all.
and
That's
Luke's
what.
like, what the fuck? Like just like 9 white kids just pow pow.
Yeah,
pow.
yeah. Well, and then I was getting called N-word in high school, but all the kids that would call me N-word in high school were like fucking blasting Kendrick Lamar. It's like,
Yeah.
you guys are fat. It's like Kendrick Lamar's.
Yeah, we were where I grew up. It was you can say it, but we're not gonna back you up, and you will get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, but no, I mean for me it was like what is
So
it,
when
like
did you stop?
26? No,
You know,
my-
it only took me 17 ass whoopings to learn my lesson.
No, my dad's side of the family is big 4 or 5 white guys in the room racism.
Oh yeah, that's the
Yeah.
best kind.
Not like little like you get a golden monkey beer and one's like,
Oh yeah.
Speaking of monkeys,
and someone's gonna say the word.
Let him
porch.
fly. Let him fly. I'll
But-
say that to Mac. He'll be like, "Yeah, let him rip. Let him rip."
Let him fly. Yeah, but eventually somewhere along the line we were. But my dad also watched like black. Growing, I didn't realize this until I was like 17. My dad loved black people comedy to the core. Like we watched Sanford and Sons growing up. He can quote Chappelle Show episodes. He loved Pryor. He stopped watching SNL for Eddie Murphy. So like we'd watch people say the N word on the TV, and he'd be like, "You know, you can't say that." And I'd be like, "Yeah." That was like my introduction. to
Why
it. It was
not,
just like,
Dad?
yeah. He's just like, "Well, because they're black." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." But yeah, it was like we saw it in comedy before I heard someone say it in real life. So it's just like, okay, well, no, not for me.
Only during sex.
I've had my fill.
Sure.
Yeah, only
Well,
yeah.
you gotta get off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
you really do know Chris Stoll. No. That's so
I think
funny.
the most racist thing said to me in a comedy show was at Grape Room. Me and Otis were there, and I went off. This is like 3 years ago. I was
Said it, didn't he?
going.
That racist.
Yeah,
something.
no, that's exactly.
Oh, wait, he did?
didn't
Oh,
say
shit.
it. He didn't say it.
He seems like the least racist guy.
Oh, he's the most racist because after this, because I did all my pro-Trump stuff at Grape Room because I love doing it at like a woke place.
Right.
And I get off stage, he goes, yeah, you know, I'm a stone cold progressive Democrat, but you know, every time I see Luke and Oz, I really want to say the N word. It's like,
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
well, you're racist. That's racist.
I was like, I think that's the definition.
That's the definition of racist.
It's
But
crazy.
hey, Grape Room
It's-
coming back because you always no, it's not. You hear that every week.
Every 6
week.
months I hear Grape Room's
Yeah.
coming back. It's not. It's a
I
great
wish it
room.
would. I loved it, but I liked it. But you liked it more than I did.
Yeah.
I
I got
liked it.
there right when it started dying. Because they like would have people. Because I moved here like 2.5 years ago, and there'd be people there. And then over the course
Oh,
of
it's
like
great.
6 months, it just
It was dead at the end.
yeah. I mean, like dead. But then again, like I'll go to a mic that has a lot of people, and it'll be dead one week or the other. But Grape was just like dead. And then they announced it closing, and then it.
Yeah, there were rumors about that for a while.
Yeah.
I feel like every bar in the scene is holding on by a thread.
I don't know how
Honestly-
Raven makes a profit.
No, well, that goes out of business every couple months, and
That
then there's
has to-
also fucking Malins went out.
That has to be cocaine
Yeah.
sales, right? Like that, like fucking what's his name? The guy that runs Raven. Like, all right,
Paige
maybe not. It's a
Campbell?
joke. No, not the mic. The
the guy-
old
I don't
dude.
know.
The guy who actually runs the bar.
Yeah, someone told me that as a rumor, and then I've heard it as a rumor like 19 times, and not a rumor. Where I'm like, he
What did
sells
they sell
coke.
blow?
Yeah, or what's his name at one point?
To go
sells
back to
coke.
Raven.
But again, I have no
Well, I
like
feel like
actual
owning a-
evidence. It's just like that has to be a cocaine sales pays the rent kind of thing.
I feel like
And
owning-
Who goes there in the day?
The water or the drinks too, they water them down. That's what I've heard from many people.
Makes
well, I
sense.
feel like owning a bar in the city, you have to have another base of income because like it's like
Mhm.
so brutal.
Yeah, what could then they get shut down for rats, I believe, didn't they?
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
yeah. It could be in the middle of January. It'd be -2 degrees outside, and you go to Raven, and it's the hottest place. on
1,000
earth.
degrees.
It's
Dude,
horrible.
They you could if someone was gay enough, you could get them for like inhumane practices because it's hot as fuck, and he charges $4 for a bottle of water. Like you can't even just get water.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Like
so-
I've gotten it, but I've
I
gotten
haven't been
beer
there
with
like
it.
8 months. Maybe he changed it, but
Well, I think any place that hires to work there should be put out of business.
Oh, can you give me 30 seconds here?
Yeah, I got you.
I can't think of a more worthless fucking piece of shit in this world than.
Pretty young, right?
Yeah, he's younger than me.
I think he's younger than me. I'm 20. I'll be 26 next week.
I think he's around there.
If I,
God
had a,
bless.
if I had a kid, I'd kill
Yeah.
myself. Right now, if I was like, you have a kid, I'm like, no.
Luke,
Yeah.
I would beat the shit out of that woman. I'd hit her in the stomach. I would hit her.
That's a friend right there. That's
Yeah.
nice.
No, not for you, but for me.
Oh.
But actually, if you wanted me to, I would do it. I'd beat up a
I don't
woman
want
for
you to do
you.
that.
I mean, if you want to be a real Philly comic, you need to have a kid before 26. So
Yeah.
let's get to it.
How many
you
of
know.
them? I thought a lot of them don't have kids. How many of them have kids?
Well,
young?
no, I mean, maybe not the comedy scene, but just like I don't know. I feel like I know a lot. Like when I've come to Philly, I feel like the concept of having a kid before like 30 is just like, no, you need to have it before that, like before. And then
But
where
you're
I
from
grew
North
up.
Carolina. I feel like that's a lot. That's more
Yeah.
prevalent.
Well,
in
yeah, but
South.
by like
that's
accident, and we
old.
shun them. But
Oh,
like in
okay,
Philly,
okay.
it's just like that's just what it. I don't know. I mean, you're right. Like people have kids when they're young everywhere. I know.
I think
I'm
here
not
they
trying to
have
say
them when
that.
they're older as a means of because they think they're keeping the dream alive. Like a lot of these guys are older than you think.
Yeah.
But it's it's a depraved world out there. That's their favorite word to use to describe some of these fuckers blowing off your kids for open mics and everything. Just don't have the goddamn kids.
Yeah,
Well-
it's made my life a lot easier.
You have to also just be. I mean, you got to be like, yeah, at that point. If you're a comedian and you have kids, like, how do you have a day job?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't, right?
Well,
Like,
here's
you
the
have
thing.
to.
Here's the thing. There's people in the comedy that a lot of prevalent people in the scene. They don't have jobs.
Yeah.
Most. Well, you know what I always say, the people who really can succeed are the people who have either parents or a spouse they can live off of. You look at how many of the people don't pay any bills. They don't what?
I was pointing because he's a wife. I'm just joking.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
no, no. I mean, I'm not gonna throw some hard stones. I'm paying like a third, and she's paying 2/3. She's a girl boss, but it's
Wow.
also
She's
yeah.
she's a girl.
That's
she's a girl
awesome.
boss. It's just but it is one of those things where like it did take years of just like because I drive Uber, but I drive like 7 hours a day, so I at least justify that. But like she's like a consultant at an agency. So
Oh, that's
like
awesome.
she has like a job. But we met when we were like 22, so she just actually had a good career path, and I. So, but that being said, no, there was a couple years where you're like, cool. So I don't really have like respect on the in-law side. I get that, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's fine.
Suck it up. You just got to learn to do the dishes and clean the house.
Not
Yeah.
bad.
But no, definitely, yeah, I still pay something. You know what I mean? Like I'm definitely like, no, I'm gonna leave the house for
Well, some
6
people,
hours
some
a day to
people
make
have
money.
rich parents that pay their rent, and then
Yeah.
like they don't have a job. Like I remember there's one comic who I forget his name, but I met him, and he was in his mid-30s. I'm like, he goes, what do you do for? I was like, what do you do for work? He goes, I'm a barista. I'm like, you're a barista?
His name is
I said he has a
He has a
job.
job.
Oh,
He has a
yeah,
job.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss. You could leave that in. He wouldn't get mad at that. I guess he would.
Yeah, it's probably not really a nice thing to say about somebody shitting on their job.
Yeah, and he quit, and he's the funniest one of his group.
That's how it happens, though, according to a lot of older comics. They're like, man, the amount of people that were actually hilarious that quit throughout their like 20 years, like they'll.
Yeah, because it's like they're the people who really see the bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? If you're really good and you don't get anything, you just, I imagine. I mean, listen, I'm beloved. They carry me around on their shoulders at these places. No, I'm kidding, obviously. But like, it's out when somebody says that, it sounds like they're talking like for themselves. I don't mean it like that, but I can see if you're like really good and you're doing it for like even like a year and you don't get any respect anywhere. I would just, you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
just think the whole thing's poisoned and quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of like I feel that way about Tom not going out. He's so good and he just doesn't go out. Leaving. Connors,
leaving.
Tom
No
Connors. He's one of the funniest guys. Have you met Tom Connors?
No.
Oh,
No.
he knows all the like. He would go to the mics that you like in the suburbs that you would know at the time. Like he would, but
But he just doesn't go anymore.
no, he does. Well, he does a great show with.
He has the
well,
live show
on
after tonight.
on
It's a
YouTube,
great
yeah.
show.
But
All right.
he's so funny, but he gets like bothered. I think. I mean, as we all do, by the bullshit of comedy to the point that it's like, if you're a type, you could just go on with your fucking retardation, and like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
could leave that in there.
I'm not.
I mean, I understand it because it does get to a point where you feel like because this is high school. This is high
Yes.
school again.
Oh,
So you do feel like you get like into these like these circles of conversation where you'll like try and talk to someone that you kind of know, but you don't really know that well. But they recently started brown nosing really hard and are getting booked a lot more.
Yeah.
And so they have this weird subconscious of just like, hey man, like I know you're trying to fuck with me, but like I don't know you. Versus
oh,
if you just accepted that you're just an open mic loser like all of us, then you'd be like, nah, fuck you, pussy. You know what I mean? But people like I don't know. I feel like people subconsciously have this weird thing where they're like,
Yeah.
okay, man,
The,
like
the
sure,
people
dude. And it's
there's
like,
they think they're on a path like a career path with
Yeah.
this, but really it's you can't like there's and it's unfortunate because you lose the passion for something you really care about when it happens. But there's a humbling, and humbling sounds like it's a good thing. It's like, oh, you want to see somebody humble, and it like takes the piss out of something that you really liked.
Well, humbling is
when
knowing,
you realize that it's all
the
bullshit.
humbling is knowing that like talent's not the most important thing.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
No, you can't. It's like Philly's funny. It's like I don't give a fuck if I get out of the first round. They're only letting right-wing fascists onto the second round.
Hey, it's the year for a white man
And
to
gay
win.
ones to boot with Michael Mack, Well,
Yeah.
they, you know what we need? We need a real man. Raph is going to win the goddamn thing and put you to shame.
That's a real testosterone tube man right there. Is Raph Mayer.
Look at this telephone
He's
tough
all
guy over here.
Nah, it'll be someone that lives in New York, even though you have to live in the Philadelphia area to compete. But you have a lot of
Why? Just because
followers,
a guy from fucking Cincinnati won it a couple of years ago?
No. It's because the guy who got second place last year is a known New York comic. But
Well, the guy who won it 2 years ago was from Cincinnati, Ohio.
oh, I didn't know
yeah,
that. Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. But I mean, again, I don't care. I mean, if you're funny,
I don't
go
care
for it.
either.
But you just see the parameter on the when you sign up, and you're like, you must live within this radius, and then they live in New York, and you're like, yeah, but like, why did you put it in there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. I approach comedy as like, hey, I'm gonna be alive maybe 40, 50 more years. I'll probably get out of the house a few nights a week and go do this. Maybe
Yeah,
if I
that's
get
how I feel because I wouldn't do
Yeah.
anything if I would be 475 pounds if I didn't do comedy.
exactly, yeah.
I'm
And
gonna
then
be
if I
alive
do this for
another 40 or 50 more months.
I think the thing that drives me up a wall the most is people that start it and they're like, I can do them. Let me. I don't want to seem like I'm calling out anyone in particular. It's that mentality that you're like, I've been doing this a year. I'm gonna start pumping social. I'm getting booked on a few things. I'm ready for 20 to 30 minutes, and you're like, yeah, you're not. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real. You stand there on a microphone for 20 minutes, like. I've only been doing it 3 years, and you give me 20 minutes. I'm like, all right, well, here we go. You know what I mean? Just the confidence to be like, I've been doing this for such little time. I can compete with people that get paid to do this. Is like, I mean, like you got a social media. You know what I mean? Like you can pull followers, but I don't know. I just don't think people have the humbleness of like,
Well, the social
like maybe
media
don't post
aspect
that
of it
one
is
bit.
thrown.
It's a social media.
This is the
That's-
worst
yeah.
time to be in comedy because the social media has distorted everyone's perception of
Exactly.
it. Where it really doesn't. It doesn't matter if you had a good set. If you can project that you had a good set, that's better than having one.
Right.
Yeah.
Fucking
Which in the long run ruins the live show,
absolutely. Oh,
So, yeah.
I.
which probably is dying as we speak. The concept of like a live comedy show because
Especially with like written bits in a live show.
Exactly, yeah. But
it's-
then again, I mean,
it's
I
slowly
don't.
fading.
It's
If,
over.
It'll
if
come
we're-
back.
If we're being pessimistic, it's probably like 1984 right now. Comedy will die in 4 or 5 years. It'll fade out. All the people that wanted to
Yeah.
be DJs 10 years ago are going to find something else to do. All the people that kind of actually wanted to do this will stay. And then 10 years after that, you'll have your like tough crowd people. You know what I mean? Like the early 2000s people. It ebbs and flows. It'll die. It's so popular right now. It'll get to
I
a point
know.
where you just have to be a spectacle on stage with a microphone.
Well, what fucked me up this especially this year is it seems like the right wing comedies is the mainstream, which
Yeah.
is like really fucked me up because I didn't really expect that to happen. So now I'm trying to I'm not trying to pivot, but I'm trying to get away from all like the extremely pro Trump stuff because like now it's like that's all Austin comedy is. It's just like
Oh yeah.
it's fucking stupid like Tony Hinchcliffe jokes and Rogan stuff.
Tony is one of the gayest gays gaying right now.
Yeah.
Dude, he really turned being Daniel Tosh into a negative wrestling character.
Yeah.
He is a fake Tosh. I didn't even put,
Yeah.
he is like
He
a
is.
faux Tosh.
I mean, credit to the
Yeah,
success
Tosh
he's gotten,
is a fake Tosh. Now.
but it's Tosh.
Tosh is. I love Tosh.
I
yeah,
love
but
Tosh.
now he's a big lefty. He's a big pussy.
Yeah, but he's
Yeah, I
He's
mean,
a
he
Hollywood
always
Hills
was,
LA
obviously.
he made
guy,
his
yeah,
millions in
yeah.
L.A. How's it?
He was the last TV contract. Like he was the
He was
last.
the last.
like-
He was the. That was probably the last good comedy TV show.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
On Comedy Central for sure.
Yeah.
That was the last one.
100%. Then they bought like Always Sunny, and then that was everything. That anyway.
Yeah, I'm not even a big Always Sunny guy at all.
I was, and then
I like It's Always Sunny pre-op.
Yeah.
Post-op, It's Always Sunny. Once Caitlyn got her fucking face all worked on and
well, I liked Always Sunny.
When you
now,
can see
but
a
now
ton
they're
of
in
set.
season 15,000, and it's
Right.
like do you know that like have you watched like their podcast where like Rob McElhenney and Charlie Day get into a fight?
no, I didn't see that
Is
one.
it
Not
scripted?
not like a fisticuffs, but like they exchange words.
Mhm.
Where like Rob is trying to be like the guy who plays Mac is trying to be like all like trying to get like be all networky. That's why like they had Mac do like a gay interpretive dance on the show, and that's why they're in Ireland for a season. And then Charlie Day wants it to go back to where it was, like shot in 4:3, and it's like that's so right. Like the guy Mac is ruining the show by
Yeah.
trying to be like all artsy with it.
Yeah.
That's why. That's when it. That's
But
how it
you
got
need to
ruined.
have the balance of the two of them going at each other. That's what makes it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like you have to have a little bit of both.
Yeah, and character-wise, absolutely. But to your point, like he's going, like it's like Seth Rogen had to burn his bridge with James Franco because he wants an Oscar. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna
I
do
don't-
whatever
I-
you
yeah,
got
but
to do
I-
to get that fucking thing. You know, so it's just like
Rogan is such a
I
pussy.
fucking hate Seth
I
Rogen.
genuinely hate. Like it's a thing where like my
Between
wife
Seth
bring
and
it up,
Joe, it's hard to pick who's
Battle
worse.
the Rogans.
I take
Battle
I
the
take,
retard Rogans.
I take Joe. over.
Will you do your impression of Joe talking about weed?
I haven't done it in a while. Yo, man, did you hear they're trying to ban weed, man? Trying to ban weed. Weed, fucking weed. You smoke it, you get high. It's fucking great. And then he humps a stool. That's my Rogan impression.
you need just one of these little things right here.
I forget. There was he was talking to somebody on his podcast, and they clipped it up beautifully.
Bob Lazar.
No, but someone who was shitting on like stool humping comics, and Joe's like,
Oh, it's Jeff Garland.
yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
Jeff
it was.
Garland.
And Joe's like, well,
Of course, it
sometimes
was Jeff Garland.
sometimes it's funny you can do it, right? And it cuts to clips like
Yeah.
the million clips of.
I'm
of
sorry,
Rogan fucking a
Judaism
stool.
is complaining about black people. Is that what's happening?
Jeff Garland, he has such a fucking ego about him. He's not. I mean,
sure.
he's funny in Curb. but,
Curb.
like that's it.
Yeah,
in
Larry
my
David
opinion.
can make just
What-
about anybody funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think it was Legion of Skanks brought it up or something like that. What is it? He was on like the ABC primetime show, the Goldbergs, and then they kicked him off the show because he yelled something on set, and it was something weird. Like it wasn't as bad as faggot, but it was like
Oh.
back. And they were like, "Whoa!" And then he just kept yelling it. He was like, "Wow, wow, wow, wow!" And they were like,
Luke, could you
"Whoa!"
imagine somebody,
Yeah.
Luke,
But it
imagine
was
somebody doing that?
Yeah.
They just won't stop screaming it.
And part of me was just like, all right, that's kind of funny. Like, but it was again, it wasn't like as bad as that, but it was bad enough to be like, you know, Hollywood's gonna hate you for saying that. But it wasn't on camera. You just said it on set, and they were like, Jeff.
What was the word?
I don't want to pull my phone out and look it up. If
I am.
that's what I'm saying, I'm trying to buy time here.
That's going to be the new name of the name of the episode.
Jeff Garland banning from. I believe it was the Goldberg set where he got banned for.
That was. Yeah, I can't find anything about this.
Well, damn, dude, I'm a fucking liar. All
No,
right,
I don't think you're. He got fired. I just don't know what he said.
maybe let me see. We'll do a dual thing.
I've been getting a bunch of clips of those types of shows on TikTok as I got Meet the Goldbergs, and I would get Young Sheldon. I get, which isn't a bad show if you watch it in 15-second clips. spread
Taking
throughout
my
the
first
year,
urination.
Yeah. Well,
it's pretty good.
I also think it was funny to make fun of Big Bang Theory too, which
Yes.
is then it branched off because I mean I didn't really like it
they
either.
did that? I wasn't aware that that's what they did on Young Sheldon. That
No.
they made fun of being Big Bang Theory.
Well, no, what I'm saying is like the internet took to making fun of the Big Bang Theory when
Ah.
it was still going, and so when Young Sheldon came out, it was just like, and to be honest, that the fucking face of Young Sheldon's easy to make fun of. So I think that
Sure.
that might have been why people were like, this show fucking sucks. But it's also like prime time.
My grandparents loved Big Bang Theory.
Oh yeah.
They loved it, which made no sense because I think my grandfather, they're both high school dropouts,
Mhm.
and my grandmother, I think she has some type of like autism or something that's undiagnosed, and she had my dad when she was like 14. So like they're like, you know, they're not stupid, but they're not educated, you know. So like, and I'm sitting there with them, and they're watching Big Bang Theory, and Sheldon's going, "Oh, the molecular composition of the nucleus of the atom." And they're like laughing. I'm like, how the fuck do you understand what the hell they're saying?
Yeah.
This show's not meant for you.
They don't.
This makes no sense.
It doesn't
Yeah.
even matter what they're saying. There's beats to it that like
Exactly.
anybody can follow
Yeah.
along
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah,
But
it
then
doesn't
again, that
matter.
show, if you watch it with a 15-second TikTok clip of Big Bang Theory once every 3 months,
Mhm.
Oh sure.
not a bad show.
Yeah.
I can't watch it all together though. It's fucking
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
It's that family. It's that everyone sit around the TV kind of TV. You know what I mean? Like we have a happy. I don't know. I didn't grow up in a happy family, so I don't know what that's like. But I mean, I guess that's who it's made for, which is the whole Midwest. So
I guess so.
I mean, it
my
works.
dad used to watch. You ever watch MXC?
Oh my god, dude!
Oh,
Me
yeah,
and my
yeah.
dad. To this day, I can drop some quotes.
Oh,
fucking,
yeah.
Vic Romano. And,
yeah.
yeah.
This is Bob Doppel. Here comes this is some Chinese guy falling on a rock.
Do you,
Yeah.
you know? Have you seen it?
Yeah, it was on. That was on Spike, right?
Yes,
Back in the day?
yes.
Spike.
And then there's
Underrated.
like there was just like show clips like people almost dying,
Yeah.
like a children's school bus getting totaled. They show that. We
Yeah.
watch- that was my around the TV to watch stuff.
That was the best stuff. Oh yes, we like that. We like that. I don't know what he said, but I'm sure I agree.
I wouldn't agree with what he said. I saw what you said. I wouldn't agree with that.
We're gonna pass. All right, I'm gonna go pee and see if Jeff Goldblum said what I thought he
There
said.
we go.
Jeff Goldberg. No,
Goldblum.
Garland. Jeff Garland.
Garland.
Garland. Damn it.
I just watched Jurassic Park.
Yeah, one Yingling.
The first one?
I just watched the first one last week. It was good.
Yeah, it holds up.
Jeff Goldblum doesn't really do anything in the entire movie. I thought.
He points at a big pile of shit, comments on that.
Yeah, that's all he does. It's pretty good.
T-Rex fucks him up, and that's pretty much it.
How much the scientist didn't give a shit about his grandchildren.
Oh,
They just
yeah.
left them in the car.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Hammond.
Power. My grandkids are out there.
Yeah, he was.
Sure. Which one? Yeah, I hate Yingling.
Yeah, I'm not a. I used to love it as a kid, but yeah, I take a Miller Lite over Yingling any day of the week.
Get up during the show and get it if you want. You're gonna chew you off.
My first beer was a Yingling.
Really?
Mine too.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I mean, I didn't have much of a taste back then, so I probably drank it all through high school and college just fine. But once and I also think that they changed like the formula. That's what people tell me is that they cheaped it up.
Yeah, it's up. Comes from up near what Pottsville, right?
Pottsville, yeah.
That's up by Wilkes-Barre where I'm from.
Mhm.
Shithole.
Shout out Joe Biden.
Yeah, the President Biden Expressway. That's the Central Scranton Expressway. They renamed it the President Biden Expressway.
Oh.
And some guy put a sign up underneath it, like right after they made the sign, like the actual sign. They wrote "The Road to Ruin."
That's beautiful.
It's
That's
hometown.
great.
One of the biggest opioid dens in the world. Scranton,
That's
Wilkes-Barre,
appropriate.
Pennsylvania.
That is appropriate.
Find out what Garland said? I got no reception.
Oh yeah, we're in the basement.
You're just bad mouthing poor Jeff Garland for no reason.
Yeah, no, I'm shit.
How will he ever recover?
My curb checks won't cover. All right.
Oh yeah, so Israel and Iran in World War III. Think it's going to happen?
I hope. Well, guess what, brother? They wouldn't take me in the army at this point. Like,
I'm too old.
I got a bum ankle.
I'm trans.
I'm black. So.
I got a rock.
I got bad news for you. You're going to be on the front lines, brother. That's how that works.
I'm not worried about it. I don't think World War III is going to start.
I hope not.
The threat of nukes really kind of levels everything out. Like,
Yeah.
you know, people like to freak out and panic.
It's just a giant dick measuring contest.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
because
It really
everybody
is.
has nukes, so it's like, what the hell are you going to do?
Trump and the Jews, man, they stood there. He's in bed with them.
Weather cannot stop
for
a nuke.
sure
But it
got
would've been-
something on him.
Oh,
There's no
yeah.
doubt. There's
But it
no
would've
doubt.
been-
He almost got put in prison, so I think that's what.
And it would have been the same though with Harris. Anyway, they all support Israel. That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
me defending anybody. I'm saying it's like you realize that's why I don't vote, because it's like you realize we're going for the Jews.
Oh,
Well,
it's a waste of a Tuesday.
The reason I
Just might as well go to Brownies.
that's why after this the next election, I'm not gonna have any passion for it because Trump's not gonna be in it. Who knows? I mean, who knows? He
Well,
might go for a third
Yeah,
term.
he might
Thanks for the No
FDR it.
Kings protest, Luke.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, good point. That's a great point. But it's like if Trump's not in it, like I'm not gonna care because Trump he was all cult of personality.
Yeah.
He's I like Trump. 'Cause
Like Mussolini.
he's just so fucking funny.
You really
And it's
is.
like I'm not gonna have any Trump's hilarious. There's no one that's ever gonna be like
You can't
Trump.
beat that.
And also, it's like no matter who wins, Israel's gonna have a candidate that they like. So it's like I'm not gonna.
I think there's every single person in the Senate has like I forget what they call it, but basically a person from AIPAC
An AIPAC
like a
advisor.
sponsor
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
Except for Thomas Massey, and
Is Thomas Massey the same guy that has like a thing of the debt on his like he's
yeah,
like a digital
yeah.
debt
He
watch?
wears the debt
The U.S. debt.
clock.
Yeah.
Lindsey
Yeah.
Graham's definitely blown an Israeli guy. I'm sure.
You think he's gay?
He's my home country. He's my home state, and I don't like him. Not because he's gay, but he's the amount of times he's like, "You guys are messing with President Trump, and he's just making this country better." And you're like, Lindsey, shut up.
I love
yeah,
Gray
yeah.
West.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me you were not at those riots.
That's
you
my-
know Gray West?
Is he?
He's a gay guy who wears like the cheetah
He's
shirt.
buddies
Is
with-
he's a
Very
New York
funny.
comic?
New York comic.
Yeah,
buddies
yeah,
with,
So he'll win funniest next year.
Oh yeah, yeah.
he's buddies with Jim and Rob. He's,
Yeah, yeah.
I remember this one joke he told. It just made me laugh so hard because he's doing this joke. He goes, "My mom's a big warrior. She called me on January 6th. I get a call on January 6th. I answer. She goes, my mom goes, Gray. Tell me you're not at that Capitol. And it's just like, imagine a mother watching her January 6th. She goes, I bet my gay son is out there. Let me make sure him a call and make sure he's okay.
My gay son. You see Jim trying to climb the wall. You're like, Jim?
They're using him as a crash pad for people jumping out of the building.
Somebody broke my toilet. What happened?
They're deporting people. He's there. He's the trench. They use him. His belly button is the trench they hide in.
I was pretty pumped when January 6th was going on.
Oh yeah, I remember texting you through it.
I was on the moon, dude. I was the one
loved it.
not raging right winger in the bank I worked at in the South, and they were like, "Those Democrats burned down that Target. God knows what else they can do." I was like, I got a feeling the other side might do the same.
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah.
no, I think you're. They were like these Southern white women be like, no, nah. And then when they charged this January 6th, I was like, oh, you bitches are wrong,
Yeah.
motherfucker. Yeah, but anyway, it wasn't a good thing, but I was just like, yes!
Oh,
Like,
I
the whole
loved
day.
it. I could handle. I wouldn't care if it was a foreign country doing that. I'd love that happen. But I think
Yeah.
that was just a psyop. I don't
yeah.
believe that it was.
I did a total.
Oh
shot.
yeah, you ever see
Yeah.
the clip of the guy?
100%.
Like there's like a nice wholesome old Republican man with a white beard, and there's like a 6'8" like jacked guy, and it's like, which one do you
Techno-biking?
think the FBI operative is? Yeah, because the guy's like, the guy goes, "We gotta fucking go in there,"
Yeah.
and the guy's like, "And do what? Heads on pikes." And the guy goes, "What? Like, what the fuck are you talking?" It's like, what the fuck?
Not to rally the fucking troops.
I was like, holy shit!
I'd do that for Betty Smithsonian, but not for Trump.
I'll do that for the Helium comedy class.
Yeah.
Goddamn Steve Kane.
Put my feet up on Chip Chantry's desk.
Yeah. Chippy. Yeah, we were with Steve last night. We had a great hang. We had the
Oh, yeah.
me, Steve, and
Oh, yeah,
John
I
and
saw
Joe.
that.
We were at the.
Yeah.
You were on a show last night with Keller, Boss,
Barry,
Martier.
Martier, and Jay Simpson.
Yeah, we were at.
Yeah, was
Yeah.
the Haddontown? What's that? Okay.
I agree with it was a lineup. I wouldn't say good. I wouldn't say good.
I thought it was good compared to what we could have.
I didn't. I was.
Yeah,
Joe gave me the Juicy Monkey IPAs, and I had two of them in a Miller. And I was like, whoa. I was staggered a little bit because those were pretty heavy.
Juicy Monkey. That took me a second to realize if I could say it or not.
Yeah, that's what they when Joe gives Luke AIDS. That's what that's what it'll be called.
Filled with fucking dying. When I'm dying of pus from AIDS from Joe, I'm the Juicy Monkey. Yeah.
There you go.
That was a little bad. That was kind of a shitty joke.
Yeah.
Me saying that? Oh,
Now you're good.
No, what I said was pretty. Was funny. It was pretty. I thought I was bombing. So.
No.
We love Joe. I'm bringing Joe on for the Monday mic.
yes, he told me.
oh,
That's
he
very
told us about
exciting.
it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know. I love the man. I figured he would be. He's the perfect medium of laughing at the comedy scene, but not being willing to let it burn down. So I'd be, you know what I mean? Like I could
Yeah.
trust him to not fuck up.
He's the man. He's the man.
But,
I
yeah, man.
I support this completely.
Yeah, I know.
Joe, he
Fucking
rules.
Gaffigan ran off to the sunset, and so
Yeah, is he done doing comedy?
no, he moved back to St. Louis.
Why?
Yeah, great
I
question.
mean, he
Why
didn't
would
really
anybody
give a
do that?
great explanation.
Yeah.
And
Why
my-
St. Louis? St.
Yeah.
Louis is.
Well, he's from there.
There's a-
Yeah, but I guess he's from there. Yeah.
I think. Well, I don't want to speak on his behalf, but it sound like my perception was like, you know, it did take him a while to get a job, and then I think he just was kind of like, man, fuck it, you know, like what he has to deal with and whatnot, and so he went back, and then he also, it sounded like insinuated he was going to go to Austin eventually. So maybe he just said, you know, fuck it, I
because
couldn't
that's
get a
what
job here,
Austin
and then-
comedy needs is another new comic.
Yeah.
That's what Austin needs.
I'm telling you, man, that when comedy dies, Austin's gonna fucking die. It's gonna
Find
fucking
another way
fade.
in.
That's why I would always give advice if anybody was like, "Should I move to New York or Austin?" Or I was like, "Don't move to Austin because who's the big figurehead of the Austin comedy scene?
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. Okay, and who is his? He has Segura, Burt, Tony. Now, what do all those guys have in common?
They suck.
They're not funny.
Bert sucks so bad.
So don't move to Austin. Like move to New York because like New York it's
There-
established.
There is something about that
Yeah,
depressing
I agree.
hellhole. I've got a buddy who's does mics in New York who's like, further whatever. It's gay to use the word mentor, but and like when I've gone and done open mics because he goes up at clubs, it's just like there's a weird depression to it.
Absolute transactional.
Yeah, it's transactional, but it's also depressing in a way of just like we all like no one in this room is anything. Like in a worse way than open mics here or anywhere else. I don't know what maybe it's just the
Yeah,
contrast.
I go there
And-
with pretty often, and
Yeah.
not pretty often, but occasionally. And I was there we were at I don't know
Who's
if you know
your friend?
Cameron Leedy. He did a show at he actually did a show at Brownies, hosted and kind of ruined the crowd, which was fun to watch. But anyway,
I don't know. I thought I knew him.
Nah, he's not super. He's a great guy. If you know Zach Amico.
Yeah.
He's been on Zach Amico's Spook Show a couple times.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so if you see him, he's a good, really funny dude, good buddy. But no, it is a thing where you go up there and like he's light years ahead of me and stand up and can do like 45 and whatnot, and then that's like kind of similar spectrum level as in Philadelphia where like we are because we've been here a few years. You know what I'm saying? Versus in New York, and then you have like a billion people that are like nobodies that we would all fall into when we go up there. So it's this weird depression, like. You gotta fucking want it, you know what I mean? And you gotta fucking want it, and you gotta have something fun.
You're better off just getting a following independently, and then going there.
Yeah,
Like,
or
then
just getting good at comedy, not in New York.
Yeah,
like that's not where you get good.
Yeah, I mean, say what you will about him. I mean, Shane Gillis started in Philadelphia.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can get going here.
Yeah.
And figure it out once.
Yeah, exactly. You can be
Exactly.
established here and then
Yeah.
go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But the people that are like, I've been doing it 1 year, I'm going to New York. It's like, I mean, the ambition, sure, but you're gonna hate yourself for like 8 years, and then you might be good enough as if you were in Philly for like 3 or 4. You know what I mean? I don't know. And then that being said, I don't know. I do think to your point, like go to New York. Like don't go to Austin. Don't go to L.A. because that's dead now. You know, like stay where you are.
Well, LA died because Rogan and those guys moved from
And
LA
Dupree
to
also-
Austin.
Yeah. And movies went to what, Canada and Atlanta?
Yeah.
LA is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, LA's dying. Yeah, movies went to so Atlanta films a lot and Canada films a good. I think Toronto films a good chunk, and then music went to Nashville.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So LA is. I mean, they'll find out. They'll figure something out. It's LA or California would detach. I don't know, but
hope so.
yeah, I definitely go to there. Don't go to Austin because I don't know. There's too many people, and all the people that are known from Austin were in LA before. You know, like William Montgomery, Casey Rocket, David Lucas. Those guys were in LA for like a long time.
And they all suck.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Well,
Yeah.
How old is
people always
Casey
fight about-
Rocket? 32, 33?
I have no idea.
Everybody argues with me about William Montgomery, but like David Lucas is fucking horrible.
he's not. He's a roaster.
I don't even know him.
He's not even that. He's not even that good of a roaster.
Yeah, I
He
think
goes,
he got.
Yeah.
I think
your
he's getting-
booty hole look like it takes dicks in the ass.
Boy,
Something
you look
that.
like man.
Yeah.
You look like like,
He's horrible.
yeah. I did actually because if I'm gonna shit talk you and you make something, I gotta watch it. I watched his special. It hurt.
I did. I watched it for
It
my
really
buddy's show.
hurt. It hurt because it was like, it was typical like stereotypical like black guy. Man, white bitches be fucking sucking
He
at
was
life,
looking like-
and then like I'd be beating my bitch up sometimes, and then he roast a few people, and you're like, man, you're not ready for. 30
He was looking at
minutes, are
his
you?
phone
Yeah.
during his special. He had his
Yeah,
phone out
exactly.
during his
Did
special.
he really?
Yeah, I swear. Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's something I saw online where it was actually.
Oh, wait a minute. No way.
I swear to God.
Where was the special? On Netflix?
At the no, it was on YouTube. YouTube special.
That's bad.
Shocker.
It was at Rogan's club
Yeah.
Using his phone?
during his special.
Yep.
Was it
He
30
put it on the
minutes?
stool, looked at it a lot. Yeah, I think it was Mothership. Yeah.
During his special?
Did you
That's
watch Gringo
crazy.
Poppy?
Oh, man, sure did.
No, I did not. No,
It-
Brendan
oh.
Schaub's second special. It was.
I couldn't watch Shab.
Shaw, but I thought that special was better than his first special. 'cause it
That
was-
first special was fucking wildly awful. It's
Yeah.
maybe the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I would
What
take.
was bad about it? I never watched comedy.
Was it an hour or was it 30 minutes?
It was an hour. It was an
That's
HBO
horrible,
special.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know who Brendan Schaub is.
UFC guy.
Yeah, so he was friends with Brian Callen, who's a rapist and a Hollywood whore.
Oh, I like him.
Sorry, allegedly.
Those are some of his better
Allegedly.
qualities.
I'm
Is
not
he
gonna lie. Now that
Jewish?
I said that, I feel a little
Is he
corny
Mormon?
left wing. Like, and he's a rapist.
Question. I don't
But no, so he the LA comic, friends with Rogan and all them, and Schaub was going to be done with the UFC, and Callen, who's kind of got a foot in the industry, was like, "Hey, you should do stand up." And so, like 5 years later, Schaub was like special level. Everyone's best friends with him, and it sucked. It wasn't good because he's been doing comedy like 5
but
years.
people hate him because he got to bypass all the bullshit.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it was-
he's a nice guy, but it's like,
Which is
you suck. Like, like
Which
you're
like
not, yeah.
everyone piled on him the past since like
Who, the
2000
big comics pile on him? Say he
Yes.
sucks?
It
So
was-
Rogan says he sucks?
I'm not. No. It's not Rogan. I'm not gonna lie. I've been listening to Legion of Skanks for a handful of years. They did it single handedly. Like Legion of Skanks were like,
well, that's not just them, but like Hinchcliffe did it.
What did they
yeah.
say?
Well,
Like, it wasn't fun. He's making fun of the special.
So-
by the way,
like-
Hinchcliffe's one shot on Netflix is like the second worst special I've ever
Yeah.
seen.
Tony is so
no, but
bad.
the worst part was like Steve-O was making fun of it. It's like, Steve-O, you're a grown man with a penis tattoo on your forehead.
Yeah.
Steve-O,
How
you
about
made
you
a
shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
you made a PowerPoint and
Yeah.
sold it as a special to quote Crack Amigo.
Yeah, it's like,
but
he's
yeah.
fucking. Steve-O
But-
sucks.
so what happened on Legion of Skanks? They bought a lie detector test, and they'll put random comics on it who are willing to do it, like known comics, and so they put R. Shafir on it, and they really think through the questions. And at one point, where they were like, "Do you respect Brennan Schaub's comedy?" and Ari was like, "No, I don't. I gotta be honest. I love," and he's friends with Brendan Schaub. So he's like, "I love you, Brendan. I really," and it came back true.
Yeah, of
and it was
course.
just like, because the whole bit is like, you've been doing it 5 years, man. You know what I mean? Like you got a slingshot trajectory, but you're not there yet.
At the same time, shame on HBO for giving him an
Yeah.
HBO special.
But you usually only see that with women, so it's weird to see it with the man. It is,
Yeah.
because with the man you can speak on it openly. But it happens with every woman.
But here's how I am though. I'm a constant. This is what I always do. I constantly do this. Anytime I see people pile on somebody, I always defend the person getting piled on.
Got to.
Fair.
I always have to do that. That's why
I do unless they're black.
That's why I'm a Dennis believer. Okay, that's why I always defend Dennis B. 'Cause
Love Dennis B.
I hate people. I cannot stand the pile on.
The
Didn't-
pile-on is worse than the initial whatever.
Well, we've been
weird
piled
shit
on
that
many
they
a
do.
time.
Oh, when we first started, we always get piled on. All the
Oh.
I
time.
believe it.
The pile-on's fun if they're your friends or you're an arrogant person. That's it. Other than that, if you're piling on with just some random person you don't know, or it's just a normal person, it's like, all right,
Yeah, but it's never somebody that deserves to get piled on.
Exactly,
And-
yeah.
and
Well, you
Philly-
guys, at least from what you more get piled on because people think that like you're like they're super left and they think that you're
Yeah, they
like,
think
a
it's
politically
Yeah.
on
Right.
the
I'm just
opposite side.
racist. I don't care who wins the presidency.
I don't know if I ever told you guys. I was doing it was I remember it was like the week that Trump debated Kamala, and it was a debacle for Trump because the one smart thing Kamala ever did was just goad Trump into
They're eating the dogs.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the cats,
Yeah.
fucks.
Well,
I was at Brownies for that. I watch it.
Yeah.
Nat, I'm having one of the Inklings. Do you
Yeah.
mind?
Okay, man, go
Do you want another one? Get another. Feel free to get up during the show.
Yeah, dude. If I drink all 12 of those, I'm not driving home, and I gotta drive home.
No, it's fine.
So the debate, the column.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah, they got the state troopers out this weekend
You-
for drunk driving. Like they're doing a drunk driving initiative.
You can
No
hey
Kings.
Rob Philly
No
this
drunk kings.
weekend because all of them are there to watch the No Kings parade. So
Yeah, so it will be good. It will be good. Yeah, we fucked
anyway,
them
sorry,
up.
Will. We love you.
no, all good. But yeah, anyway, so like you did, I remember you did a bit on it because Kamala, the one smart thing she did was goad him into like she questioned the legitimacy of his crowds and
Yeah.
it just totally threw Trump off course and he ended up losing the debate. And you pointed that out at the coffee house in Westchester, and it was funny. And I was telling Raph Amir about it the next day, and I was telling Raph about it, and another comic just comes in and was just like, "Fuck that! I hate Luke and Otis," and like. I didn't even mention your name. Like,
They packaged
came in of this fucking bullshit. It was right wing. They didn't say fascist, but they said something a lot. That name rings a bell.
Cut this. And I was like,
I was just remember
man,
thinking
you
it was
really
so
hate
weird because I was just telling
He hates me
him.
big time.
I was just telling Raph how funny your joke was from the night
Yeah.
before, and then this guy, and he came out of like nowhere and just started screaming at the top of his lungs. And me and Raph,
I love that.
me and Raph just looked at him, and then we looked back to each other and continued our conversation.
That's the best move. That's a great move.
I didn't know what else to do. It was
Damn.
bizarre.
dude, nothing better than when someone drops something like that, and then the guy that they were trying to get their attention of turns to you and is like, "Yeah, so what about blah?" And you're like, "Yeah, fuck that guy. Yeah." So that happened with Renz once when I was talking to Sean O'Shaughnessy. I was like, "Yeah, fuck you, Renz."
Damn.
No, anyway,
Yeah. Oh,
We
I
love
love
friends.
Shano. Shano will shit talk. He's a good.
Sean
Oh, yeah,
intimidates
me
me.
and you are always a package deal when
Really?
it comes to hating.
Yeah.
We're a package deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys.
He
are lumped
intimidates
into
you?
Well, not in a way of like.
Oh, he's a hack. He's not.
Sean
That's
O'Shaughnessy
funny.
intimidates me in the way of just like an
He's
older
hilarious.
brother, like the way of just
He's a good
like.
guy. He's a good. Just talk to him.
No,
he's
he's
a
a
nice
good guy. Like he's friends with me, but in a way of just like I'm scared to
I
make
don't-
fun of
I
you
don't
because
like-
you're quicker than me. Or
Oh, I don't like Irish people either. But come on now.
We're the
He's
worst.
half wop.
He had
Yeah.
that great set after
You don't have to
fucking,
tell me.
That comes out.
That's
Yeah.
what he smokes all the time.
They had that. There was that
Newports.
one white. Oh, you were there. The one white.
We
ghetto
are a
bitch
package. Yeah.
Yeah.
had Wet Mike. What was his name? Like Freak
Kinky
League or
John.
some shit like that.
Kinky
Yeah.
John.
The Kinky John.
Yeah.
She's talking about how she likes getting her pussy ate or something like that. And then she's talking about all sex, and Sean goes, "Hey guys, I'm Sean." It's fucking hilarious.
Sean's funny.
Shano.
Also, I want to clarify. Joe G, I think, said that. I was like, nothing like a white bitch that has a white. But anyway, I want to say that when I was on stage, I had a bit that I said, and Y'all notice this where you say something and it is kind of funny, but one comic laughs at it, no one else does, and you immediately make fun of them? Where you'll say something.
I've seen that. Yeah,
You know what I mean? Where you'll say a bit, and
because
it's
I'll be
just-
there stoned out of my mind, and like I'll laugh at the silence or something.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people be like, "Oh my God, Otis is the only one laughing." They'll
Yeah.
say that.
So
Only,
she did that to me at
Who is
well,
this?
she didn't do it to me. It's the
Kinky John.
The Kinky John.
Kinky John. Kinky John. I said something on stage, and I think people, I don't know, they might have bombed or not. And then she laughed after the fact, and I was like, nothing like a white chick with a light skin, black eyes laugh, man. Ain't that great? Yeah.
Oh, you had that great line the one time we were talking at Honeybrook. We were talking about, you said Anthony Chase was just like, at a mic was just at high note, I think. You were just laughing. And then he goes,
Fergie's, yeah.
and then Danny Hooks goes on stage and he goes, ha ha! And you called it blafter. And I never heard that term before. That killed me.
There's laughter and then blafter. Yeah.
Laughter.
Yeah. Yeah. I've done it as well. Yeah, you catch white guys on it, it's fun.
Yo, you ever know when a motherfucker like Daddy it go out there? Y'all just can't contain yourself. You be up there chuckling.
No, I do love black people, and I think they're good.
Gotta love
Happy to
him.
hear
Shout
that.
out Comedy John. Shout out.
I've
Keith
never
from
been
Up
to
the Block.
Comedy John.
It's a tough place. I don't think I'll ever go back.
I haven't been in
actually
like
had some
a year.
good times. You know, it was tough because the host at one point would do like 5 minutes in between every comic, which is never
Dude,
fun.
are you
The
kidding?
host
Dude,
of the
Keith,
Black
I
Room would do
counted
5 minutes between people's sets.
Keith from Up the Block. I was there with Doss. Did 43 minutes in between comics.
Wow.
43. We counted. I thought it was a show. I was just like, here's, and then he kept going, and then like by 30 minutes, we were just laughing at the idea of it, and then he just got off. and people are like,
crazy.
yeah, he's done that before. Like I'm not the first person to have seen that happen, and I mean, it's like
That's
run your shit, dude.
awesome.
Yeah, him and Toure run one of the Black Comedy College.
Yeah, Temple.
Yo, that's hard, not you.
Shit. Yeah. No, but
We were HBCU, a hilariously black college or university.
You know how we roll.
and then Chip runs the Y1. So
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I love
that's
nothing more than the people on the PCN who are like they feel righteous and that they consistently post and they're like, ha ha, this fucking guy, and you're like, you're a douche. You posted on PCN. Fuck
If you
you.
see
Like,
somebody on
you're-
PCN they have like top rising contributor on there, and
Oh.
it's not Steve Kane, they're retarded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
general
Yeah,
rule.
that's
exactly.
Keller had a great line here where he said, if you post, or I don't know if he said it to us off the show or when he was on, but he goes, if you argue in PCN for something that's not, if you post in there that's not like a show, you should be buried under the prison.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, wow.
My favorite thing is when someone goes in and says something like not really controversial but edgy, and then you can see it has like 114 comments. And you're like, okay, here's everyone's opinion on it.
Yeah.
Guys, why think we handled it this way? Yeah.
I did it. My first time. I was stupid. I've probably said it on the show before. I was so stupid when I first started doing comedy. I thought everybody was like right wing and like Trump for some reason. I don't know why. I thought that.
You started in the Gillis era.
Yeah.
That's a big miscalculation on
Completely,
your part.
yeah. That was really wrong because I made a fake flyer and I said like I was like, hey guys, how old was I? I was probably 19, 20 years old. I made like, we're having our first LGBTQIA plus comedy open mic, and I was like, and I put all the gay flags all over it like a fake flyer, and I put like, make sure BIPOC comics will be heard first, and I put, and please make sure our women comics are heard during their sets, meaning like the fake laugh.
Yeah.
This is gonna really make everyone laugh, and I posted it. I got completely shit on the entire.
What'd they say?
It's like, oh, this is like. What was funny was that like we actually have these mics, and they're actually a fun time, which. Bullshit. They're not fun. It's horrible.
Fun
Yeah.
for who? Satan?
Mostly awful.
Yeah,
You get a lot of clapping laughter.
Laughter.
Yeah,
You said that. You used that term to me the other day too. That I
Bunch
thought.
of
I'm
women-
putting a lot of aptors.
You know what?
together.
You know what the worst comics are? The worst comics are like the children of minority comics who their entire set they will make fun of their parents for being minorities.
Yeah.
But the second I go and do like a Chinese accent, they're the person like, "You're racist. You're a piece of shit." It's like, fuck you.
I'm not gonna lie.
my
One
God.
that cracks me up so hard anytime I've been at John or at Funniest, where there's a lot of black people in the crowd. It's like
What people?
Canadians, as people call them. Man, Canadians like speakerphone calls in public. I drop that on my wife a lot. She's like, "Stop it."
Especially those ones from None of It. I hate those.
But
those none of uters.
anytime you get it's a black comic that'll go up that'll have like an African dad and they have a perfect English like American accent and then they immediately speak in the African accent, every person in the crowd is like, oh my, and then they lose. It's the bread and butter, dude. Anytime a black comic goes up in a black room and drops an African accent, it's just burning the house down.
Oh, yeah.
And as a white guy, I'm like, it's kind of fun. Like, can I laugh at that? Like, I don't know, but it's just like bread
Come,
and butter.
child, you better be laughing.
Yeah. It's like if you go into
Come and sit down with the boy.
It's like
Come and sit down with Nathaniel. Is that your name, Nathaniel?
it is.
Come and sit down with Nathaniel.
It literally boiled down to my mom picked Nathaniel and my dad was like, nah, Nate's weak. We're gonna go Nat. That was it.
Nice.
For the nickname.
Yeah, I don't think there's any white Nats in history that are not Natalie's. But
I don't think there's any human gnats besides like there's gnat flies. I never.
Well,
heard
they're a human
Nat King
gnat
Cole.
Nat
of the
Turner.
open micers of Philadelphia comedy because they're pesky. Let me tell you, okay, they're sons of bitches.
I yearned so hard for just a Will when I was a kid. I was like, man, just a name like that.
Yeah.
But you know,
I think I'm a Black Luke.
Yeah.
That's pretty brutal. A Black Luke.
I didn't put that together. We have fun.
My dad was going to call me Curtis, but they needed somebody's name in the Bible. so I'm Luke.
That's enough. Curtis. That's
Oh
like
my
Darnell
God,
or
Luke.
Bible
something.
handcuffs.
Get him a toolbox and you know what I mean, and a trucker cap. Hey, that's old Curtis coming in here.
I'm like an extra in Sanford and stuff. Curtis Kincaid.
Oh my
Actually,
God!
You big dummy.
They would have never known Grady.
Curtis Kevin Kincaid. That'd be my initials.
CKK. Oh wow. Okay.
KK.
We had people that come to we had people that would come to the bank I worked at in the South, and I don't want to say it. In fact, they were called Kellett's Corner, but it was 2 Ks, and they would put the Ks as capitals, and that was their sign. And I was like, they're 1 K from greatness.
Yeah.
And no one I worked with got. They were like, what?
Yeah, they had to play dumb. In the South, they have to like how Nazis they get.
That's
they,
like German, not yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No, they did. Yeah, they played dumb real. Yeah, we had an uprising in the city because they were gonna. There's a high school named Wade Hampton and a street called Wade Hampton.
What's White
Hey.
Hamden?
Wade Hampton was the largest slave owner in the region for a long period of time.
That's awesome.
And a Confederate war general. So people were like, maybe we don't name stuff that. And the whole city was like, go to hell.
So they
We're
kept
keeping-
it.
Yeah. Oh,
One
it's
thing
still there.
I'll give the Confederates credit on this is that that flag is badass.
Dude, they put it in every other state flag. If you look, like Georgia has it in their flag.
Yeah, it's a great flag.
well, it's derivative of the English flag or the British. Was that what they did? Just the
the
crosses?
stars and bars, man. It's fucking.
Do you remember that shirt your dad was going to buy you in North Carolina that he sent you the picture of from the rest stop?
I wasn't sure. It was a Confederate flag vest.
Oh, it was a denim vest, right? With the,
yeah. I was like, buy it. I like that.
when I was in you know the town Arkadelphia. There's a town in
Yes.
Arkansas, Arkadelphia,
Okay.
and I was in there, and I went
know.
to a gas station, and they had a sign that says right outside is where Bill Clinton raped his first one. No, it said heritage, not hate, and the Confederate flag. And I was like, whoa, brother.
Ew. Yeah, we had Dixie Outfitters north of the city, and it was popping. A lot of customers.
And I don't like it, and I don't like it.
Yeah, that is a weird thing down there where it's like people my generation that still rap it, they're like, that's a Southern identity. And then like, oh, well, let me reword that. Okay, so let me start over.
I'm a Confederate soldier.
So when I was in the
Long live the Confederacy.
when I was we got a lot of things done in the colonial days of the 1700s. No, but no, I remember we were in the 5th grade. We were being taught about history and slavery came around. They were very like we had a nice teacher. I'm sure she was just teaching curriculum, but she was very adamant about like just so we know like the Civil War was from tariffs and states' rights. And you're like,
She single?
she was then. She was actually the hot teacher.
Oh, bet.
And then
That makes sense.
that concept is the thing that's taught to you in history class where I was from.
Wow.
So you're just constantly like it's states' rights and tariffs. And so when people are like the Confederate flag, you're like, it reads the South because we like states' rights. And then you're also like slavery. But no, we don't bring that up. So
That's
it's
like
just
how
it's like people like and I'm from
I mean,
a
you
city
think about
in
it, I
the
don't
South,
think
so, like,
slavery was that bad. No. Okay.
That's pretty much how like Catholic school kids. How I
I'm
was
talking about
taught
Middle Eastern
abortion,
slavery.
yeah.
because we were taught like all this fetus gets developed this week and not this week and all that stuff, and it was like we were like really every year we get an abortion talk for a week, and it's, like,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
Yeah.
I remember. Did you have the abortion talks?
Yeah, we had one abortion talk that was like it was like, it was like 45 minutes was a class period. About a half hour of it was a woman can't get pregnant if she got raped. Was like the thesis. The thesis
wow.
of this woman.
Did they ever bring in dolls or anything?
We'll rape the doll.
Yeah, until
Folks.
I ruined it for everybody. No, I don't remember any dolls. I don't remember any dolls.
I remember in 7th grade they brought in these
They
like
use boys.
like the week progression, like from like 1 week to 9 months of these like rubber like fetus dolls.
Rubber bath toys.
What I noticed about these is that I noticed they were black dolls too. I noticed that too. Which you have to get those things custom made. I mean, there's no.
So was it the 4-month period when the fetus started smoking cigarettes?
Black and mild.
But it was really funny
That's
because
wild.
we would pass them around, and I remember like we were passing them around, and the 9-month fetus, the biggest one, came back. And I got it, and some kid took bit the fucking head. It was a giant bite taken out of the abortion doll. It was so fucking funny.
That's awesome.
Jesus Christ.
This was Catholic school, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Classroom fucking around never gets old because we had.
That's us at the mics now.
I know that's
Yeah.
why it is high school. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
We had so in my high school we were one of the like handful of I don't know, it's probably like 20 in the state of South Carolina that taught Latin, and it's because we had a deadhead, like an OG deadhead lady who went to Old
What a
Woodstock. Shout out. Name I don't know, say not worth it. Anyway, so she insisted on Latin being a program, and I have a sister who's 12 years older and a brother who's 2 years older. They both took it, and when my sister 12 years older, she's like, that lady's batshit crazy. You're not doing anything. So when I got into high school, I'm like, that's my language course, and so we took Latin, and what were we talking about beforehand? Because I started talking for Abortion. Oh no, I remember now. So she had a bunch of statues and clay made things, and one day she handed it around. She goes, "This is a handmade sculpture, recently made of Achilles," and they handed it around. And the kid in front of me was going to hand it to me, and he takes the clay sculpture and he literally just goes and crushes it into a ball from the like helmet, and he goes, "Here you go." And then I have to sit there and be like, like you broke the stat. I feel like that could have been funny if I told it right. But anyway,
No,
he literally
it's funny.
he just hands me the statue. He's like, "Here's the perfectly," and then I have to sit there and be like, "Fuck!"
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah. It's and then I think at one point I just like shoved it to the girl behind me, and she said something to the teacher. But it was just like, man, she probably cared about that.
Oh,
and
yeah,
you were just 16, just like, and here you go, take
There
it.
goes all your hopes. Yeah, everything you like, it's ruined.
Yeah.
I felt bad for any teachers who would have stuff like on their desk because like it's like kids would just fuck with them all the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I had one day. She would keep a snow globe there all year round. She'd have a rape whistle, and she'd be there, and I'd be like, "Wow, you are a sexless whore." Just looking at this dumb one. Her name was Nona.
I remember
That
one
was her
time.
first name.
Nona was her actual name.
That was her first name.
All my buddies got put in lunch detention one time, and
yeah.
the teacher went to leave the room, and
really was her
she
name?
had a thing of Coke, like a thing of like of Diet Coke in a glass. Of course, a kid pissed in it when she left the room, and was like, "What do you
That's
expect?"
a bold move.
This was at the cave.
What's that?
This was at the cave.
Yeah. It comes full circle. Otis in the class. That's fucking crazy.
Well,
I remembered one recently that was funny. We had it was a class where there was like 8 of us that were friends, and we figured it out in middle school, but then we started. It happened this one other time in high school. You put a wad of paper in your mouth, like a whole piece of paper, and then you take a sip of water, and then you just have like a hand spitball. And one day, for some reason, the teacher in the class we were in, which was play production, which meant nothing, literally meant in South Carolina, no funding, so it meant nothing. She has this like blackboard that she brings out and sits up front of the class, and it's like, "This is from something," and she draws some things on it. She goes to walk away, and like 8 spitballs fly at
Oh my
it and miss it and hit something else, and she's like, "Wow!" And she has a rant. Happens one other time. And then there's like a 30-minute pause where no one has thrown anything. And she says something and goes to walk away and sits at her other desk. And we're all just sitting there in silence. And there's that blackboard. And you just see one spitball go and hit it. And I turn around and it's the kid behind me going, "Oh, shit." And the teacher just goes, "That's it," and points out 8 of us. And it's like, "In school suspension, get out." And then we had to go to ISS for like 2 or 3 periods.
Oh
but
my
it was just
God.
like 30-minute pause, everything silence, and then one. And you're like, "Dude, we're fucking done. Like, we're done with this bit."
when I was
Yeah.
probably my sophomore
we finished
year,
this. Yeah.
my sophomore year, I remember we had we were doing we were dissecting. We were in biology 4th period. We were dissecting crawfish for biology.
For the
live in
jambalaya.
Louisiana?
What's that?
For the
Yeah,
jambalaya.
yeah. Forbidden jambalaya. And it was like it was whatever. I don't even remember it. But then the same kids I had biology with, I had 8th period theology with. And we're sitting there, and this teacher was such a fucking bitch. I'm sitting there, I'm just bored out of my mind, dozed out. So she's telling us something. She goes around the board, and you see 3 crawfish just explode against the blackboard. She goes, it was one of the hardest I ever laughed to see. Like,
Was the whole class laughing?
oh yeah, it was like to see these 3 crayfish explode against the blackboard was insane. It was insane.
A life form, and then you take it to a high school.
Oh my
and
god, it was
blows
so,
up on a wall.
the entire place just like just stunk. It was so funny. Oh my
That's yeah. You wish you could kill on stage the way some of that shit.
That's
go.
yeah.
Good.
That's some of the funniest fucking things.
That's my favorite part about fucking with teacher stories. You tell it in a group of people, and like 3 of them get it, and they lose their shit, and everyone else is like, "You're a piece of shit."
Yeah.
You're like,
I saw it. I would never forget. There was one year where like a teacher quit like a month into the school year, so we had like just nonstop substitutes.
Yeah.
And this this one guy, nobody respected him. Like we would
Yeah.
talk and throwing shit at him all the time, and he
Dorian.
eventually just fucking lost it and went, "Enough! Shut the fuck up!" And then went over to the window, lit up a cigarette, and just stared out the window for the entirety of the cigarette. It's to this day the scariest thing I've ever seen another human do. The whole class was so fucking silent.
that guy's the man.
Didn't even get. He got
Wow.
like a talking to. Did not get fired.
That's awesome.
That's badass.
Who would even rat him out for that?
Dude, he snapped and ripped a heater.
You know how
Crazy.
there's a 13-year-old girl all the time. How old were you for this?
We've been like either 4th or 5th grade.
Oh my god, yeah. There's always some
There's
girl. who
always,
goes,
always the girls that tell on. I don't know why they do that.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody went home and told their parents, and then a parent called or something like that.
Oh my
but
god.
Someone with a good family had their like.
Could you imagine
fucking
doing that
reality
now?
show.
The
Dude, I
guy
had a
being
parent- I had a
Guantanamo
parent-
Bay.
my god, yeah.
I had a parent
100%.
telling me in college. I went for broadcasting. And
I didn't
was,
even know this.
And I was commentating the Widener Prize women's basketball game.
You were doing the broadcast?
I was
Hot stuff.
commentating, and it was like 70-20. It was so fucking boring. And then like the Widener team got the 69 points, and I go 69. That's the score we were all looking for today. Like it's Division III women's basketball. Who's watching this? So I'm walking past the guy who was running the broadcast. I hate when fucking grown people go like this. The finger. I hate that.
Awful.
So demeaning. I go, "What's up?" He goes, "We need to talk about what you said on the broadcast." And I'm thinking like, "Oh fuck, what did I say? Did I say like the N word or something? What the fuck did I say on the broadcast?" And they go, "You said 69, the number we're all looking for. You'll never commentate a game again." And I go, "It's Division III. I don't give a fuck."
He said that to
Yeah, I
you?
don't give a fuck.
So you got banned.
Yeah, from the commentating Widener's D3 basketball.
What was it, for the
Shattered my
radio?
dreams.
What's that?
For the student radio?
Yeah. No, it was
Where was it coming out?
the college YouTube channel.
So we can still hear this.
I think you probably could.
Oh.
Yeah, they probably
Do
could.
you remember the day? Who were they playing?
Bad basketball women's college. I don't fucking know.
What school?
I don't remember. It was like 7 years ago.
This should be the
Crazy.
new intro to the pod. Just
What?
the clip of you
Yeah,
saying
me
that.
saying, yeah. And then I think I also called him nappy-headed host.
John, I don't know not John, Nat, I don't know the passcode for We Want Tucker. I don't. What is it? Bright Brush?
Bright 7193 brush.
Oh
Eddie or
shit!
Eddie?
Actually, this is a callback because we can figure out whatever Jeff, what's his name, said. You can edit out your Wi-Fi password. What is it?
Bright capital B. Bright 7193 brush. Capital B for brush too.
Oh, so you kept the what they gave you?
Yes.
It's crazy though that
Yeah.
you got in trouble. Didn't Brent Musburger make a career of just pointing out girls' tits in the crowds of college football games? I mean, that was
Did he really?
yeah.
Did
Like,
that work?
He played off the cameraman. I mean, the
Yeah.
cameraman put
are
him
you
on
in?
there.
People loved him for it.
Yeah, we're in.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Tinkle after Otis and
Yeah. Well, we have we're at an hour and 45, so I think this is something we can definitely like. We don't have to keep going because we definitely have over way more than not more than we need, but we made up for the censors.
it's up to you, brother.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like it's insane that I can't believe a parent would actually care about enough about
At a college level, that's insane. You're just not letting your
And
kid grow
at
up.
D3 college level
D3.
too.
And a D3 is
Yeah,
wild.
that's nuts.
Do something to make
Yeah.
this interesting, for the
exactly.
love of God.
Yeah, it was a blowout. It was,
You raised your kid to get into D3. Back the fuck off.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
You know what I mean? You've done enough damage.
exactly.
Yeah. No, yeah, D3. I remember we had there's a comic in my hometown that was doing comedy. We were all friendly enough, and he was D3 basketball, and we went to go watch it, and it was high school. And I mean, I like him, and he was an athlete, and he's doing well now, but it's high school. Like, it's just like,
Yeah.
it's a high school room size. It's like 13 people in the stands.
Yep.
Back the fuck off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't, anyway, that's my perception. But then again, gays, we got to take care of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't play any sports in college. I didn't play any sports in high school either.
I was a bum. I did play church basketball until I was 18. So I got a mid range, but
Not bad.
I didn't go to school enough in high school.
that was it.
Yeah, no, I didn't go. I
Well,
was,
Okay, so side note, we should mention you are a Muay Thai guy.
oh,
and
yeah.
I did Muay Thai.
I used to. I don't, it's not like I'd ever even fought like an amateur fight.
What
but I
level belt
practiced.
were you?
They don't have belts in Muay. There's
It's
some,
a- it's
a-
some places that will like put armbands and shit on you. Most, like, I didn't see any of that over when I was in
I
in
did.
Thailand.
I did jujitsu at a place that did Muay Thai and jujitsu, and I rather would have done Muay Thai.
Muay Thai is the most fun thing I've ever
Yeah.
done.
I did it for, like,
just
7
kicking and punching things.
Yeah.
I did it for like 7 months, so I have a mild understanding. But I remember talking to Will, and Will was like, "Yeah, I did it for a while, and then I went to Thailand for like a couple weeks and did it out there." And
Yeah.
like if you know more, like Muay
You
Thai,
did Muay Thai in Thailand?
Mhm.
Oh, you're fucking the shit, dude. What
Like-
the fuck?
Muay. So
Yeah, until you get your ass kicked by a 14-year-old.
Adam flicks dream.
Oh my god.
well, the thing about Muay, so like Thailand approaches Muay Thai from like if you're actually good at this shit or kickboxing, you don't leave the country. Like you don't go to the UFC.
Yeah.
You don't do that. So like the best fucking people at that art form are in Thailand. So just to even do it there, I mean.
So
like,
how was
Jesus Christ.
Thailand? How was that?
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah?
Everybody,
I was Thailand. I look at that. I see that.
Did you have? So you fought in Thailand?
I trained in Thailand. I didn't fight
Two lady
anyway.
boys.
Did you-
Yeah,
did
I
you ever
spar- I
have-
sparred a little bit.
Did
but
you ever
yeah.
have like I would love to see an introduction. Oh, from Pennsylvania.
I got-
Oh, we crazy. Shaguna Shida.
Yeah, no, there's a picture of me getting kicked in the head. I'll post it.
Oh,
Oh,
nice,
I love
nice.
that. Yeah, we'll put
Nice.
that up with the episode.
yeah, I'll send it your way.
Jamie, pull that up first, please.
Oh, so you can just fuck anybody up then.
As long as they're not 14-year-old Thai people, yeah.
Oh,
no,
yeah, well,
anybody who's below
But
that.
anytime she gets a little too black, you can be like a fucking arm bar.
No, I crack you, nigga. I say that to you, bro.
Hit him with a T kick, kick the gay out of him.
Oh.
When I did jujitsu,
Not my words.
Jujitsu was so fucking brutal. Like I
Yeah.
did it, and like I was going. When you guy puts you in a triangle, and you can smell his balls. So like, you know what?
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not worth $200 a month for this fucking.
I did jujitsu a little bit. It take too long to get to the fun in jujitsu.
Yes.
Muay Thai, you can go right in. You're gonna get your ass
Yeah.
kicked, but you can go right in and just
Yeah.
start fighting. You'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
It's also like a
But-
thing where like I've been watching UFC for a while. I'm not a big head, but it's striking. Yeah, baby.
No, my fly was down. I was winging to the camera
I
about it.
wish I saw it. But like the two ways to fight are striking and grappling. And grappling it works.
There we go.
Yeah. Pull it out. Pull it out. But no, like so grappling can be effective in public, but wrestling is the ideal way. Like if you're in a street fight, you could jujitsu, but if you're fighting a couple dudes, the second dude could just kick you in the head.
Yeah.
If you wrestle, that would be more effective. But you also have to have like
Let's
a
wrestle.
shitty dad that made you wrestle at like 11.
Did
and
you
lose.
wrestle?
No,
I
my dad
wrestled.
cared about me.
I wrestled.
Let's wrestle.
Yeah.
Dude, you got those people are insane.
That's
I
why
hate
I didn't
wrestling,
do it in high
guys.
school. I didn't do it in high school 'cause
Re-
it was nuts.
It's another
Oh,
level
yeah.
of like human insane. But those guys are the ones that can tackle you. Aside from that, you got to learn to punch and kick.
Couldn't you,
know what
just
I
knee
mean?
them in the
Like-
head when they go to tackle? You're the expert here. Like, isn't that the move to fight a
Some
wrestler when
people-
they go for a
Yeah,
takedown?
if they
You
go
just
for a
knee 'em?
takedown, knee him. That would be my move. There was one guy I knew from the gym that he would practice. He would say, "Go ahead, try to knee me in the head, like when I take you down." And you couldn't do it. I've never seen anybody do it. This guy Francis, he was a badass motherfucker. He was a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He grew up in a boxing gym. You know, like yeah. So.
So you couldn't knee him in the head. You tried.
To go
He would-
to the
he would-
side with the head So
Yeah.
you could like go outside of a knee.
Yeah, exactly. The technique should protect you. If you do it right, you should be
Couldn't
protected.
you? What if you kicked him? Couldn't you just kick him?
Well,
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're close enough, you're gonna hit him like here.
Yeah,
And
you
that's
you
not a lot of leverage.
you can
gotta
do
hit 'em,
that.
like in the knee.
You
And
can-
that's like fast. So if they're quicker than you, I
Yeah.
mean, that's.
But couldn't you just back? I just feel like you could just kick him.
Sure, you can, but if they're really well rounded, they're going to distract you with something up top. They're going to ring your bell in the head and then take you down with the legs.
I think those wrestler guys. I think that I feel like they're just not because it's so guarded in terms of rules because it's a school sport and everything. They're just if you hit them. Not that I'm some tough guy, but I feel like if you hit them, that's your in to stun them and then do something to them quick.
Oh yeah, if they
I feel like if you deviate from any kind of rule system, you could really. I just mean in like an alley.
No, but still, it's they could do it because they're just insane. You have to be
Yeah.
insane. to be a
Wrestlers are
wrestler.
the ones, even for like fucking my shit high school that didn't have a great wrestling program. They're trained from like diapers to be human psychopaths who like their skin doesn't get affected. Like they could like scuff their skin on anything, it doesn't hurt. They're gonna throw their body into you and they're gonna rip you to the ground.
Yeah, when you practice bulimia for a sport in high school,
Yeah.
you're gonna be insane.
Like we would hear stories of the wrestlers and it'd be things where it was like they shoved a pin up some kid's asshole. And you'd
Yeah.
be like, huh? Like it was always like the extreme shit. But then again, I mean like and they all like you just accepted your ears blown from like doing the you know what I mean? Like your
Yeah.
ears fucking cauliflower. Like
I did
those
wrestling-
guys are trained to
I-
fuck you up.
I did wrestling the first year of high school, and we had to run a mile outside the school, and then we had to go in the school and then like do 20 sets of stairs, which is what stairs is. You had to run from the first floor up the stairs to the fourth floor, and then back down 20 times in a row, and then you did to practice wrestling. It's like I quit. I'm like, I'm not doing this.
It's like a mentality thing with them where they just want to break you as a human.
It's
Like
just-
that's what wrestlers want to do. So it becomes psychological and like cardio based.
They're
And
the
then,
type
like-
that wish they were raped by their fathers, but only got slapped.
yeah.
I
And then you
wouldn't,
get
I wouldn't say that.
I would.
I liked wrestling in grade school, but I didn't like it in high school.
I didn't like wrestling at all. I always thought it was lame as fuck.
But like it where like jujitsu works too, where you could like hurt people, but it's not like wrestlers have the mentality of like, yeah, my body doesn't really matter. I just have to hurt you. So
Well, they have
like-
to be
like
black.
weight cuts and hey, there you go.
Yeah, the weight cutting is gay. I always hate. I saw a kid who was 116 pounds trying to cut 2 pounds or something, and in high school, and I'm like, it was just so his dad would love him because his older brother was a great wrestler, and it's like that's pathetic, man. You should all kill yourselves.
Oh, I did
That's
wrestling
fucked.
because all the wrestlers, like all the WWE wrestlers, some of them did wrestling, so I didn't want to do that.
I see it. I respect
That's
it.
why.
Kurt Angle.
Angle, Lesnar. That's why.
Who's y'all's who would you say is your wrestler now, the one that you like most?
CM Punk.
Still? All right. Yeah.
All right, what we old heads in here, nigga?
I'm trying to. So I was a kid who liked it, and then I love the history of it, but now I'm trying to get back into it.
Yeah, I love.
My
Well,
getting-
Punk's still there. Gunther's great.
Well, my getting back into it was because I was like borderline like checkout buying a ticket to WrestleMania in Philadelphia, and the thing that made me not buy the ticket was ticket fee prices. But
Oh,
I-
it was true. But we were there, and it was horrible price. Horribly
Yeah.
priced.
I think it was like $80 extra just for the fee. So I wanted to go, but I watched the whole thing. Love Sami Zayn. I think that was a great match.
Yeah, we saw that. We saw that, and we saw The Rock and Roman and Cody
Yeah.
and Rollins.
I
What,
think
imagine
Undertaker-
how good it could have been if it was Punk instead of Rollins.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, but does Punk have like the physical capacity though that he
Mhm.
used to? He does.
He's
Okay.
still
All right.
good.
I'm trying to watch weekly to keep up with it a little bit more.
Just
but,
watch pay-per-views.
I watch
That's what I
weekly.
do. I watch weekly sometimes too, but
keep up with the pay per
I'm
view.
talking about wrestling, fake
Yeah.
wrestling.
And I love Cody Rhodes being the guy. I think that's poetic in
Yeah.
a way.
I
You know what
haven't I haven't caught up with it. I'm so
Adrenaline.
So-
in
When
his
was the last time
soul.
you watched?
man. It's been
Yeah, nigga.
when I was allowed to say the end.
Last week you watched it?
exactly. No, I haven't. I mean, it was. I didn't have cable growing up, so it was tough. But I was the Stone Cold Rock era was
Oh,
like the
that's-
biggest.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
that,
yeah.
was when I most paid attention.
The
And
mo-
I would,
Not gonna top that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just those guys. Those niggas are great.
I think I remember the thing that hit me the most was when they immigrated or whatever the word is.
Migrated.
ECW, and RVD had a little bit of a push. and
Those
that was-
sticks, yeah.
That was like kind of towards the end of me keeping up with it, but like the beginning of me was
Him and,
just
him
like,
and Cena in that match. That was a great match with them throwing the T-shirt back. The
Yeah.
visual of it, the racism.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, I've been trying to get back. So the pay per views I got to keep up with, but yeah, I mean, you keep up with it at all?
Oh yeah, we watch all the time. Luke and I
Yeah.
always watch.
Yep,
And we always hate
pay-per-views.
it.
What's that?
We always hate it.
It's not good.
What do you mean?
Oh, it's all right, but we bitch about a lot of stuff.
We've been watching it for so long. We always
Yeah, 25 years pretty much.
You know how like Andy Lane was a big concept. I don't know if you guys know who that is. Andy Lane.
Comic in the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
He has a
Who's a-
circuit. He looks like a turtle.
Do you know him? Who's more of a well-known guy? It's like Andy Lane. Fuck, I'm trying to think.
I think I
You
know.
know,
who
like
you're
a
talking
comic,
about.
like a comic from Philly, with like who's been doing it for 10 years in the city, or who'll like be like always shit on everything, like an
Yeah.
Aaron Bell type.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah,
we
yeah.
are with wrestling. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Okay.
We're the peanut
Oh, I
gallery.
get it. Yeah.
Urinate.
So we just become jaded over the years.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
I get it.
We're allowed.
Oh yeah, we put it.
We're all trans. We're all gay.
That's how I am with football now.
Oh, I hate everybody. I'm such a
Yeah.
big football hater.
Yeah.
I hate the. Are you an Eagles guy?
I am an Eagles guy.
Oh,
I am an
yeah,
Eagles
yeah.
guy.
Luke and I don't know.
I-
It's well documented. We hate the Eagles.
I know. Luke being a Carson Wentz fan is maybe the most interesting thing anyone's ever fucking told me in my life.
Carson Wentz is the most overhated quarterback in the history of football.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
He's white at least.
If he was on any other football team, he'd still be in the league. But he's on the most retarded. No offense to Will, but he's the most. It's in the most retarded.
Oh, I will give you that.
Will's not retarded.
Yeah, I will give you that. There's
I'm gonna make. I'm not for Eagles fans, you know.
I know.
the fan base can be extraordinarily retarded, especially as a basketball guy. There's like I would say like there's a small subsection of people that are good Sixers fans, and everybody else is just
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, that in 2020 that team was horrible. That Eagles team was so bad, and he was the quarterback of that team. I don't think any quarterback would bring that team to over 500 record in football. That season with Reagor and Hargrave and
Sure, yeah, Rager was terrible.
who else was on the team? Quez
Rega.
Watkins.
Yeah.
Like that team sucked. And then we goes to Indianapolis, and like they were 9-8. They missed the playoffs, but he was 27 for 8, I think, with TD to interception ratio. Then he goes to Washington, and Washington sucked that time.
Yeah.
He should still have a job. He should at least
Well,
get back up.
Listen, look at what they're doing. They tried to run my man Aaron out of the fucking league. The guy had 28 touchdowns and 11 interceptions.
I agree with that. I love Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
I
one of the few guys that I can never slander. I love him. He's why I grew my hair out.
He's the man. I love him.
I love Rodgers.
I hope he wins.
I'm rooting for him in Pittsburgh.
I know.
I hope it's just the fucking shittiness of the Jets that
Probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Jets.
I'm gonna have to go to that fucking Packers and Steelers game. It's gonna be so expensive, but like it's the Packers and
Pittsburgh. Or?
yeah, Pittsburgh. I gotta that'd be awesome.
That would be a good time.
Are you an Eagles fan, Matt? Nat?
I've adopted him, so I finally found the Jeff
there we
Garland
go.
thing for those of you listening. Okay, this is a quote from someone that put up on Reddit. It said, according to a source on the show, a camera assistant made a complaint to her department head about Garland's use of the word. After the actor found out, he reportedly put his hands around her. Didn't know that. That doesn't sound good. And kept saying vagina in her face over and over again. Overall, Garland's go-to jokes that a number of people on the show found offensive were talking about grandma's vagina, balls, and brassiere, a coworker said. Additionally, he would not address some long-term female crew members by name instead of using nicknames that also considered offensive. So anyway, he yelled vagina a lot.
Vagina.
Yeah,
So did I when I was 13.
Yeah.
He's like a Philadelphia female comic. Jake Garland.
So we picked up the Eagles when we moved here. I'm from Carolina Panthers territory, but no one gives a fuck about them because they're in
It's all college there.
Yeah. So yeah, in the
Clemson.
South it's all college. Man, I actually asked my dad about this a while ago. He was born in the 50s, and he's like, "Well, if I wanted NFL, I would have been we're from South Carolina," and he was like, "I would have been a Washington, what the fuck, Redskins fan."
Yeah. Like
And that
Luke.
didn't make sense because what the fuck would I do? And then Atlanta came in the late 70s, and he was too old. And then the Panthers didn't come until 95.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and then you just take your dad's sports. And so my dad didn't give a fuck about him. So we're Clemson people.
Okay.
So like that,
sure.
but we picked up the Eagles when we moved here. But it was a thing where like me and my wife watched it at a bar, and we had a lot of fun. And then when they won, like it wasn't my championship.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it
So
was like
would your dad be stoked if Trevor won the Super Bowl? Trevor Lawrence.
he'd be a little perky. Yeah, my dad's a curmudgeon, but yeah, he'd be a little. But yeah, I mean, like that's kind of how college works. Is if you're not an amazing program like Ohio,
I always
State or
pictured your dad
something,
as like a theater guy.
mom. Madre.
Really?
Yep, managed the comedy club in my hometown from the mid '80s.
Wow.
Her second husband before my dad.
Take
was-
that, Jews.
Actually, you guys listen to music. Yeah. Fuck y'all. So my mom's second husband was in a band for a long time and toured up the East Coast with Marcus King's dad.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So my half sister, whose dad is friends with Marcus King's dad, like knows Marcus King and is like friends.
That's
with him.
awesome.
I've never met the guy. Apparently he's cool as shit. But yeah, so like and then my half sister's dad is still around a lot. Crazy Italian dude. I grew up with WAPs. But point being is like my mom
Sorry
was
to
like
hear.
the creative, like had a wild
She's
life before she
yours.
met my dad. Yeah,
And your
3
dad
husbands.
domesticated her.
my dad. And then they divorced.
The
so
man.
there you go.
All these whores are domestic. Not your mom, but like all these whores are domesticatable. I just think I could toe tag these women and put them in a morgue. I just I see some of these whores out there and I just want them dead.
God damn the whores. So anyway, Clemson football. No, but that's so yeah. And no one in Philly cares about college because Temple sucks ass.
Hey,
They're pretty
Villanova's
good.
great.
Respectfully,
I went there too. I hated it though.
Villanova's,
Basketball.
Villanova's phenomenal.
Fair
basketball.
point. Fair point.
Yeah.
The Knicks, they were almost in the finals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
then
yeah.
He fired their coach.
Yeah, he plays them 50 minutes a game in a 48-minute game.
I do think I've learned the resentment of New York sports as a Philadelphia person because you didn't win shit, but you almost burned down the whole fucking city.
I respect that. Actually.
You respect it?
Yeah.
Can a Knickerbocker live? Can a Knickerbocker live?
I mean, you didn't win anything, so quit acting like you won the big thing. I don't know. That was my perception on it. But then again, I mean, the passion.
Well, listen, I want
some
Mark
fun, have
Norman
some
to
fun,
like
burn down
me,
a
so
city,
I
let's
like the
go.
Knicks.
Okay, we as in the Royal Philly Eagles, I almost call them Phillies, Philadelphia Eagles fan, we won a Super Bowl. That's when you burn the city down.
Don't say we. The team.
Fair,
I hate
fair,
that's
fair
a
point.
pet peeve.
You got me there.
I hate when people say we when they
Yep.
say.
The
when
only
they say,
time you can say we is
not
if
against
you're
you, I'm not
enrolled
trying
in
to
the
point you
college
out.
when they
I
win.
I feel bad with
You
saying
got me
anything
there.
against you. I'm
No,
not trying
no,
to be
you called me out. I
confrontational,
hated it,
but
yeah.
that is it's a pet peeve when I say, oh yeah, I always get mad when people say, well, we won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
No, the Eagles won a Super Bowl. You cheered for them.
Yeah.
You're an operations analyst. You're not an Eagles player. I
the
can't stand that.
one argument. So I've met Shane Gillis twice, and both times.
Fuck, dude, fuck.
So
You don't fucking Gillis, dude. You fuck, dude. He's
I've,
made a big deal, man. Oh,
I've
Jesus, fuck.
already sent the DMs to get me booked.
Hell yeah, you go.
Don't worry. But both times I just went at him for college sports because I was kind of drunk. And the second time we literally were just like children arguing. I was just like, well, Notre Dame, like I went up to him and I was like, yeah, I just need to know Notre Dame sucks shit and Clemson's always better. And he was like, you know what, fuck you guys in Dabo Swing. And we're just going back and forth. And he's like, yeah, well, we fucking are a better program. And I'm like, well, we have national championships. And then, anyway, childish. I went back the
That's
next day.
actually you doing that's awesome because you actually treat him like an actual normal person.
I did. I did. Fair.
No other Philly comic would ever do that to Shane Gillis. Like,
No,
"You're
dude, that's
so
our fucking Newt Rockney, dude. Yeah.
Fair, but I went back the next day because
Fuck.
so I live near the comedy club, and my local watering hole is the same bar that all the comics go after closing. So I went back to that bar the night later, and I was like, "Sorry about that." And she's like, "It's okay. That's Shane Gillis, and you're a regular, and you were arguing about sports, but you did yell very loudly, and you sounded like an asshole." And I was like, "All right, sorry, sports fans. Like that's what we do. Like it's like." You suck. I'm not that bad. And then he's like, you suck. I'm not that bad. So, but anyway, yeah. I mean, like to your point, I was the whole night like, yeah, we're a better program than you guys. And it's like,
Did he
we're
go to
not.
Notre Dame?
Nope.
Nope.
I didn't go to Clemson.
Like most Notre Dame fans.
Yeah.
Probably have never.
So
even
he just
been in the
likes them because
state.
they're Irish.
Yeah, I guess so.
well,
This is why I hate them.
again, I got to defend the
I
college.
went through a phase like that in my early 20s. It's very embarrassing.
What, for the Irish?
Yeah, I was wearing all Irish stuff. I saw the movie The Departed, and I was trying to be like Leo DiCaprio, but I couldn't do the Boston thing because I've hate Boston sports my entire life.
Mhm.
So I just instead of Boston, I put on like
That's the one
Notre
like,
Dame stuff, and it's very it's just
That's
cringy.
the one like Boston movie I really like. Is I love The Part, but I watched The Town. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah, yeah,
I think that's the
Doesn't hold up.
So overrated.
Yeah, it doesn't hold up. It's based. It might as well be Boondock Saints.
Dude,
That's pretty. Yeah.
I was about to say, did Boondock Saints hit you guys in your like middle school years? Where you're like, this fucking movie.
yeah.
I've never seen it. I've never
I
seen
watched it. I actually
then-
watched it.
yeah,
I watched it with Dunbar
Oh, he
this year.
That's a perfect.
This year,
perfect
and-
yeah,
like-
this fucking movie's amazing.
Dumbledore's
Dude.
like, yo, I'm like fucking, Willem Dafoe, dude. I'm in drag and I fuck cops. No, it was we both like this fucking sucks. This is not a
Willem
good movie.
Dafoe is in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Then I'll watch it.
Do you
Yo,
know?
you should watch it just for the Willem Dafoe.
I love
parts,
Willem
actually.
Dafoe.
he's the best part of the movie.
Yeah,
It
by
is.
far.
It's really corny. Where like as a teen, like because I remember what was it, Shatas in some other movie. I remember watching as a teen where it's like gangster stuff, but that's Jamaican gangster. But then when you're older, you're like, this is a corny fucking movie. And Boondock Saints was like that because the whole plot is Willem Dafoe. Yeah, we're drinking.
I'm trans.
Willem Dafoe is
Willem.
chasing these brothers who are like like renegade criminals almost or something like. Aren't they
killed
like
Russian
Dexter type?
They killed Russian mobsters.
And so it's a dual plot movie where like Willem Dafoe shows up to the scene of the crime afterwards and does his like genius thinking, but it's
Yeah.
corny. Like it's just like corny. Like Willem Dafoe has to have a Jimmy Neutron moment right now because these guys left evidence. Like no, he doesn't. He like just he saw it. There you go. But it's action and that it works.
I'll have to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, so Ron Jeremy's in it.
Oh, and every Irish man loves it. That's
he
why I
says
said
the
it.
N
Oh,
word in
he
it
is
too,
in
right?
it.
I believe
Ron
so.
Jeremy says the N word.
Yeah.
What is? How does he say it?
I forgot.
I can't-
Take it, you.
yeah, exactly.
So don't worry, I'll tell you how he says it. No.
No, 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 no. What are we at?
We're at 2 hours and 7 minutes.
Oh, all right. We can end. We can end.
Time
Yeah.
flies.
Anything to plug?
Come see me at Helium on July 6th to watch me do things there.
People ask me about real life.
Is it funniest?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're not booking me. yeah, I paid to get on.
You got comps?
Yeah.
I'll come. The 6th, I'm there.
You're on.
I should be in town and available. But yeah, and then I'll comp you the next night on the 7th.
You guys are on the list.
All right.
Sweet.
Boom, boom. Yeah, I'm funniest the 7th. If you live in Philly, come to the Philadelphia Brewing Company every Monday. Me and Joji, top tier gay, are
Top tier, folks.
top tier. We're running the Frankly Comedy Mic. Come on out, have a good time. Beer's cheap. People are nice.
Yeah,
I'm
that's all.
trans.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Take care. I have
Yeah.
to fucking stop recording, and we're